Sandra all the time is here with the cold heart through. She's the ears and the eyes for me and you. Every day, everyone want to hear from Sandra. And every time on the air, she's getting better. Tell your sister, tell your brother, tell your mama, call Sandra in the morning and in the evening. They always calling Sandra. And when they start fighting, they calling Sandra.
That's right, folks. Everyone is telling their mama about the cold hard truth. Welcome to another episode with more truth-telling, more problem-solving, and of course, more tea spilling than ever before. Sit back, students, grab your tea and turn up the volume because class is now in session. Call in at 936-2626 because your voice matters. Share your opinion on issues that matter the most to you. All right, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. How's everybody doing? We're just waiting on Blake and Aaron to get the news segment, Spilling the Tea, kicked off. And then we are going to take it from there. Happy jam. Everybody doing good? Happy Tuesday. Hope you guys are well. We're going to go ahead and get our Instagram connection started as well. Good morning, Miss Kifra. I see you messaging me. Okay. Got your message. No problem. All righty. So we have Health City, Cayman Islands joining us this morning. We're going to be talking about the 10th anniversary of their Explorers program, which I think is amazing, helping young Caymanians who are interested in the profession, healthcare explorers, to really, find out if that's actually what they want to do. So it's a wonderful opportunity there. And let me tell you what else we got coming up this morning. I'm going to be begging for money. You guys are going to have to indulge me. I know what you guys are thinking, but listen, it ain't for me. It's for our youth of the Cayman Islands. So I want to make sure that we prioritize them. And then what else is on the agenda? The port. We're going to talk about that hot mess, which continues to be a hot mess. And unfortunately, I don't see anything in the immediate future changing as it relates to that situation. So we got a pretty full agenda of topics this morning. So let me just grab some links for everyone. So bear with me while I do that and while I start the Instagram feed. And hopefully Blake and Aaron are going to be jumping on here shortly. They're kind of late the last couple of days. Don't know what's going on over there. There's always tons of super interesting news on the horizon, especially when it comes to medicine. So just this morning, I see one of the interesting headlines says that drug that melts away tumors could replace surgery for bowel cancer. So this is very, very interesting, a trial that's going on in relation to that. So we're going to keep an eye on those types of things for sure. Love medicine and the technology, that embraces medicine. And
morning.
Good morning, Blake and Aaron.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Yeah, we're good.
Wonderful.
How are you doing?
It's a rain.
Yeah, no complaints. Is it raining again today?
Not right now. I'm sure it will somewhere. It rained forever at my house.
Shall we hold on? Shall we check to see
the radar?
Hold on. Let me see. Let's get out the drum roll. 1 second. Yeah, is it working today? Ladies and gentlemen.
I need to add the drum roll to my thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Radar says.
Radar silence. Stand by. Working. Hey, it's working.
All right.
Oh,
Good to know.
Golf clap. Okay.
Mhm.
Let's see what's in the
Nice.
rain. We got some rain showers in East End this morning. A little bit of
Nice.
drizzle out there. It's the Wyndham Reef Resort. Probably getting a little shower activity right now.
Mhm.
Otherwise, got some showers to our south, and we pan out, zoom out, and we see some showers over in the sister islands right now. The Brac is getting hammered
Ooh.
with some showers. Stand by. Here we go.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Hammered with some showers. Love it.
I have some important news for you. Interesting news.
It's Blake and Darren's Spilling the Tea with Sandy.
K-Man's top news headlines of the day from CMR.
Hey, Sandy, good morning.
Good morning, Blake and Aaron, and all of your beautiful listeners over on KISS 106.1 FM.
Yeah, what do you got over there at CMR Land?
Couple things this morning. Remember the young man with the prosthetic leg who had a bit of an interesting week last week in Northside?
Yes, the one that
the one
was trying to rob the Domino's.
Yes.
Yeah, prosthetic leg?
Yeah.
I missed that part.
Oh, yes. Because the original rumor was that they had taken his prosthetic leg and detained him with it. But turned out it wasn't quite that adventurous. But pretty good. It's still pretty adventurous. All right. Naldo Taylor, age 22, who was arrested on May the 28th when that incident happened in Northside, has been formally charged with attempted robbery, possession of an unlicensed firearm. So it turns out it was real, looks like, and possession of unlicensed ammunition. So Taylor of Boddentown has also been charged with 2 counts each of burglary and handling stolen goods in relation to 2 other unrelated incidents that occurred in the District of Northside. So he went to court yesterday, and we'll keep you guys updated as his matter progresses. Needless to say, he's going to be going to jail for a very long time if he's convicted. Those ammunition charges alone, firearm charges, are pretty serious.
Is this the one where we had the video of him interrupting the Domino's? Is that what
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So he's been formally charged now. All right. So in other news, court-related news, Tortuga Robert loses his appeal to have his sentence reduced. So this is Mr. Richard Edward Nash. He was convicted along Casnique Patrice Austin Cupid in 2020. There was a liquor store robbery in their location there in Governor Square. So he was actually sentenced to 12 years and 10 months, which he argued was excessive. Court of Appeal turned down his application and said it was not excessive. His co-accused, who was also convicted, I think she received some 10 years imprisonment, also lost her appeal as well. Her conviction, my apologies, her application to have her sentence reduced was denied. So both of them will stay in jail for the time that they were originally sentenced. Okay, so there's some concerns about a radiation tower being proposed in Boddentown. So this is interesting, but there is a 130-foot logic tower that is on Breadfruit Lane in Boddentown, and it's raised some concerns about radiation and its effect on the community. So the application for the communication tower in the low-density residential area was discussed at this week's Central Planning Authority meeting. And according to the meeting agenda, the subject parcel is located on the southern area of Breadfruit Lane in Boddentown, where the property is currently vacant. So there is an objector who says that the installation of this tower will put himself, his family, and other members of the community in danger of radiation exposure, which is going to cause health problems. So we'll see what the Central Planning Authority has to say about that, and whether or not, there's any real evidence to support that.
Just cell tower you're talking about, right?
Yeah. I mean, when we go to cancer.org, RF waves given off by cell phone towers do not have enough energy to damage DNA directly or to heat body tissues. So it's a bit unclear.
It also depends on the height.
Yes.
Like you wouldn't want to stand directly in front of one of those antennas.
For a long period of time, yeah.
But if it's high up and it shoots outward, then Yeah, there's all kinds of formulas they need to consider.
Mm-hmm. All right. According to the Office of the Auditor General, government has spent $144 million to improve employment prospects for Caymanians. So between 2019 and 2023, the Cayman Islands government spent $144 million improving employment prospects for Caymanians. However, the Auditor General, Ms. Sue, has indicated that a number of issues still need to be addressed. This is in her latest report, which was released yesterday, called Improving Employment Prospects for Caymanians, something that we definitely will take a deep dive into at some time as well. No doubt some interesting observations made in that report. So those are your news headlines for this beautiful Tuesday morning.
Have a great Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you so much. All right, guys. Have a good one.
All right, Aaron, what do you got coming up in the...
All right, folks. So let's go ahead and start our Instagram live feed. And I'm sure they're going to be logging on here shortly. And then I'm going to send out all of the links to the WhatsApp group as well, because lots of them just sit back and wait for me to do that. So I will do so. All right. So give me 1 second. So we got lots of things coming up on the program this morning, including the fact that I'm going to be doing some shameless begging. So you guys got to bear with me this morning on behalf of the youth of the Cayman Islands. So I was sharing a story yesterday with you guys about how, unfortunately, the sports ministry has not stepped up to the plate to help these young men who have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to go off to a basketball high school program, first two Caymanians to ever be afforded this opportunity, and they do need some assistance with funding. So I am going to be pulling out all the stops today, asking for donations from members of our community. So if you're in a position to help, start looking at your bank account details this morning, honey child, and please see how you can assist. Every single dollar will count. And I am, as the song says, I am not too proud to beg when it comes to assisting our young people. So, we're always talking about our youth and how we can, engage them in positive programs, prioritizing their education, and so many other things. And we know that there is a direct correlation between kids who are involved in things, extracurricular activities like sports and music, and it really helps them to be much more well-rounded, physically and emotionally healthier as well. So, and it also helps with academics, believe it or not. So we're going to do our best to try to see how we can assist those two young men get some additional funding. So bear with me, and I'm going to be giving all the details out this morning. But of course, it's Tuesday morning, so y'all know what time it is. We are pleasantly just tickled, really, to have the 10th anniversary of the Healthcare Explorers program at Health City, Cayman Islands. So this program, I can't believe it's actually been around for 10 years, but this is amazing. We're going to learn, we've talked about it before, and now we're going to kind of celebrate with them the 10th anniversary of this amazing program. So first up, we've got Shamari Scott, who's the Chief Business Officer at Health City, Cayman Islands. So good morning to Shamari. How are you?
Good morning, Sandy. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you? Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
I'm awesome. I'm awesome. We're painting this room, so I think somewhere along the line they moved the internet extender so that we can get through. But everything is good.
Yeah, no complaints. I know you're a basketball fan. You've been a lifelong player, I think, from a young age. And so obviously Health City Cayman Islands, this morning, we're going to talk about their commitment to the youth of the Cayman Islands and how, giving them these amazing opportunities is something that you can't even put a price tag on, to be honest. So giving them the opportunity to, be involved in different internship programs, different educational programs, even just touring the amazing facility at Health City Cayman Islands as part of your Health Explorers program, I think is just amazing. So you're celebrating 10 years of this. So you guys pretty much started the Health Explorers program right away.
Right. So it wouldn't have been branded Health Explorers at that point in time. So as we started to get more traction, we decided to give it a name just based on the fact that we had so many different programs within. But it was June 14th, 2014, when we started with 18 students that would have toured the hospital and the such. And since we've had over 52,000 encounters and interactions with students through various programs, and we're excited about the various programs that we have. We were looking to encourage individuals, young people, to give it a taste, to encourage medical pathways and the careers that could come thereafter, to show that we have an industry that has many different areas that you can get involved in. And we thought no better way than to actually give people a first-hand experience within the hospital. And through, as we progress through time, there are various programs that we decided would help us to achieve our goals that we'll discuss even getting into the schools. So the greatest thing now is that with technology, you don't need to have people physically in front of you in order to actually either encourage or inspire. And through technology, we've been able to get into a lot of the government schools, and we'll talk about that program as well. But it's exciting to be here. And then we also have a few stories. It's always good when you can actually see the students who have come through from a young age and where they've ended up. We're going to have a few of those stories in this program, and we're excited. Typically, we would have had Mr. Charles Bush on the program, who helps to lead this actual area. But today we're excited that we actually have Miss Shakira Connor, who is coming on the program, and she herself is a success story in that she came to the hospital, and I'll let her tell her story, but she was in various areas of the hospital. She tried to leave us, but then we were able to rope her in and get her to come back to be a part of our education program, and she's been absolutely wonderful, and even had a great idea for one of the new products we have that help us to get into primary schools as well.
All right, so we've got Miss Shakira Connor. Do I see a hyphenated name there? Is it Ebanks on the end? It's kind of specialist. Oh, my apologies. Oh, I only see -E. So I was like, wait a minute. Specialist. All right, no worries. I could only see the -E part, but okay. So Ms. Shakira Connor, this young lady is joining us again as the educational specialist at Health City Cayman Islands. So before we get into details of the big celebration of the 10th anniversary, really, of prioritizing Cayman's youth, tell us about yourself. How did you, get in contact with Health City Cayman Islands, and what your journey has been like?
So I first came, morning CMR audience. I first joined Health City in September 2016, and I was working at the front desk. I didn't stay there long at the time. Miss Jen McCarthy, she was my manager. And after 3 months, she asked me to transition into the appointments role. So I transitioned to appointments. After staying in appointments up until 2022, when I left briefly and, like Shamari said, returned. So I was in appointments. So I was focused on scheduling all of the appointments. So it would have been MRIs, CTs, outpatient. So I was solely responsible for scheduling all outpatient appointments. And then when the pre-certifications came back, so once you saw the doctor and you came back, if the doctor said that you had any diagnostic testing, surgeries to do, the pre-certs would be responsible for reaching out to those patients and doing that. Briefly, once my role in appointments continued to progress, Marshini, who was the manager at that time, then made me head of appointments. I was responsible for 2 in appointments and just kind of scheduling, doing the scheduling and overseeing that appointments were being scheduled correctly. So that's what I did for that time. And then I briefly left and returned in March 2023, where I joined the role of education specialist. So it was an exciting time to join that role because I had been in Health City and I kind of worked all of the roles. I went over to assisting in OPD, where the doctors sit. I started in diagnostics because at that time we were more focused. Health City was focused on being well-rounded. So if, for example, one of the colleagues called out sick, we could cover all roles. So once I joined back in the education department, I already had like healthy working relationships with doctors. So everyone was like, Shakira, you're back, but I'm not used to seeing you in this role. But I had already developed relationships with these doctors. So it was easy for me to pick up the phone and say, hi, Dr. Benoit, I have this student. I want to view one of your surgeries. Or hi, Dr. Naranjan, I have this student who's interested in ortho. And it was an easy transition in terms of being able to speak to the students and say, you know, what are you interested in? I can get you in to see this doctor. I can get you to view this surgery. Are you interested in physiotherapy? I can allow you to I can allow you to shadow in physio. And that's kind of where I've been at now. But it's also been a fulfilling feeling going from appointments and learning so much about the doctors to actually now putting students in those roles or setting up students to shadow these doctors and then coming back and saying, Shakira, I really enjoyed it. When can I return? I had such a fulfilling experience. I learned so much.
Wow.
So that's kind of where I'm at now.
Wow.
So Sandy, she was the perfect person, just because when you get persons in roles, if they don't come from a medical background, typically there's time that it would take for them to get up to speed. And because Shakira had been in all those positions where she had to understand not only who the doctors were, but the types of procedures that they actually conducted, as well as when persons had certain ailments, which type of diagnostics, which fields you'll go in. It gave her a hands up when we needed education specialists. And she reached out to me because she was looking to see how she could get back in her role in Health City. We had some conversation, and she said she might be interested in this role, but she wasn't sure about it. And as soon as we looked to see, you know what, she ticks every box that we could possibly need to be a healthcare explorer education specialist. And we're so happy to have Shakira back. It's a year now. But she's been doing an absolutely fabulous job. Being a young Caymanian. She also is that shining light that people can see, that even if you're not interested in being a doctor, a nurse, or a technician, there are other fulfilling roles surrounding healthcare as young Caymanians that you can be a part of.
Wow, that's fantastic. Quite a story. And I know that you have so many of those types of stories at Health City Cayman Islands. You know, what is so interesting, Shamari, is I was mentioning a couple of weeks ago that I finally convinced Marlon to go and do his executive health check. So on Saturday, he had to go in to do one of the ultrasound, like it was like a follow-up check. And of course, you know, men, you can't really figure out. I'm like, okay, what kind of ultrasound? I don't know. He's like, just show up. So we went to Health City on a Saturday morning, and it was an amazing time, really. And it was so funny because I was kind of just, you know, lounging around, and I went in the, I think I went in the cafeteria first, or maybe I just saw him in the hallway, but I saw Dr. Benoit, and he had some time on his hand, and he said, hey, you know, come, let's go in the cafeteria and let's sit down and have some breakfast. And I said, well, actually, I'm waiting on Marlon, so, you know, maybe I'll just have like a juice or something like that. Fresh squeezed orange juice, by the way, gotta love it. So we were able to sit there for well over an hour and a half and had a very, very interesting conversation. One of the things that struck me is how incredibly passionate he was about the fact that, you know, young Caymanians need to take up opportunities that we have available here at Health City Cayman Islands. I could see his sincerity and his passion with this. And he was like, you know, Sandy, we try to encourage as many young people as we can to explore career opportunities here at Health City Cayman Islands. Really, this is your country, so you guys have to take the lead, even in an organization like Health City Cayman Islands. And I was sort of thinking about it. I was saying to him that one of the visions that I have is a day in the life of, right? And we can pick people like Shakira and other people where I kind of shadow them for half of their workday to see what it's really like working in that position, working in that environment. And my mind automatically went to this young man who I briefly met the last time I did some blood work. Similar story to Shakira in the sense that he started out, you know, at a very basic position. And now he's been able to work his way up to the lab where he's training to be, you know, a lobotomist. perhaps.
Phlebotomist.
Phlebotomist.
Phlebotomist. Yes. And his story, he's just so quiet and so humble. But the person who's training him was telling me all about him. Well, he started in this department and this is where he's at now. You can see a collective and shared just proudness. I don't know if that's the right word for people who work in the Health City family of each other. So people are I see lots of messages coming in, Shakira, about you. Lots of people are so proud of the journey that you have had both inside and outside of the organization. People are messaging this morning saying this is absolutely amazing. So it's fantastic. And we've got other videos and stories here, which we're going to be sharing this morning to really show and demonstrate to people that Health City Cayman Islands isn't just talking the talk, but they're actually walking the walk as well. So let's talk now about this Health Care Explorers program, Shamari, and exactly what this is.
Yeah, so the Healthcare Explorers program, as we mentioned, it's just finding various ways by which to actually highlight medical occupation to our young people, whether through primary school, I was about to say middle school, forget we don't have that again, primary school, high school, and even those going off to college. So we have various programs that are within, and I'll also let Shakira explain some of those programs. But one that's really timely that people really like is the Shadow a Doctor, and then obviously we included or a nurse program. But prior to getting there, just to mention, when you said that, it seems to be the ethos of everybody involved in Health City to be proud of each other, especially our young people that are coming through. And that goes back to Dr. Shetty, right? And Dr. Shetty knows that the children are the future. And Dr. Shetty has always said that at some point in time, 10, 15, 20 years in the future, we need to make sure that not only right now, the non-medical positions, we have close to 60, 70% of the Health City individuals that are Caymanians. When, 10, 15, 20 years from now, we're going to need and want to have at least 50% of the medical professionals within Health City being Caymanians. But in order to do that, we have to inspire more of the youth to be able to take those medical pathways. And he always speaks to the fact that if you look at various areas that globally you'll have a shortage, it's within the medical field. So even just logistically, continuously bringing people from elsewhere into, a small island state isn't sustainable when it comes to an industry like healthcare. And therefore, we're going to have to organically grow that as well. Not only is it the right thing to do, but strategically, it also makes sense. And Dr. Shetty has always been like that. Anytime Dr. Shetty comes, he always wants to meet with students. He always wants to share his story with students. And I think that flows through the entire Health City, where everybody knows and understands. And as he said, I used to ask him, how are you able to get such great individuals who actually work and help you to achieve your mission? And he said, Shamari, once you're doing great things and it's aligned with what God wants, great people find you. And I think that's true. Because one of the reasons I even joined Health City was based on the ethos and what they were trying to do. And I said, you know what? If we can have an entity like this that wants to do the right thing in the country, I definitely want to be a part of helping that to get where it is. And that's why, even though Shakira left briefly, we saw that she just had to make one phone call, and we figured out a way just because we knew that we aligned as well. But to go through some of the programs, we have Shadow a Doctor, we have Explorer internships, we have virtual field trips, we have on-campus field trips, on-demand videos, we go to career fairs, we have science fairs, which that's a feather in Shakira's hat, which helped us to reach primary school children for them to actually design science types of experiments and projects, and to have gifts at the end to get them interested at a young age in STEM. We also have our SURF, which is a summer undergraduate research fellowship. And then we also have partnerships without all the government schools with on-demand videos, and I'll let Shakira touch on that as well, but also with UCCI School of Nursing, through sponsorships, as well as having some of those nurses with us during end of year 2 and year 3 to be able to get real life experience at a tertiary quaternity queer care unit in the Cayman Islands as well. But when we speak about the programs, like Shadow a Doctor, I would like for Shakira just to explain what that program is, because that's one of our top programs that everyone loves to actually play a part of, the young people.
Beautiful. Yes, Shakira.
Okay. So as Shimari said, so Health City overall is celebrating 10 years, and Healthcare Explorers in itself is celebrating a decade of education, which was founded by Dr. Debbie Shetty. It's the award-winning education program of Health City. So what we basically do is we bring forth various initiatives to encourage students from primary school throughout university just to explore and continue to be inspired to become, whether that is the next generation of doctors, technicians, phlebotomists, therapists, dietitians, nurses. So that is what we're kind of doing, along with advocating for STEM education throughout primary school to high school. We started with just 18 students, like Shamari said, and to date we have over 52,000 encounters. Since then, we've had various programs that we've brought on deck. Shadow a Doctor being, as Shamari said, one of our top programs. It's just a 2-day program, and I like to say that for me, it's one of my favorite programs because it leaves a lot of room for discernment with the students. It's just for 2 days. It's not like I always like to tell students when I go to careers fairs, because sometimes you're talking to students and they're not really sure what they want to do or the direction they're going in, which is completely normal. But I like to say to them that you can use this program to figure out what you want to do, because this program allows discernment, because you can do it as much times as you possibly want. Every school break that you get, you can do a Shadow Doctor program, and it's literally just 2 days. So it's not like we're tying your hands to say, okay, well, I signed up for this and now I'm stuck for a week and I don't think this is something I want to do. But you come for 2 days and you pick the department, whether that being you want to shadow in cardiology, radiology, neurology, orthopedics. You choose where you want to be, and you come for 2 days and you shadow. Some students come and they say, hey, Shakira, I really had a great time and I want to come back. And it's the one program that our students call by name. Like, they know Shadow a Doctor off the back of their hands. And other students come and they're like, Shakira, I went and watched a surgery, orthopedic surgery. I don't think it was something that I really liked. I signed up for it, but I didn't really think that's something I want to do. And I say, okay, well, you can try a different department. And then when they come back, they're like, Shakira, I really enjoyed viewing Dr. Benoit's surgery. I saw heart surgery and I can't believe it. And this is how we kind of get them to feel around. Like I said, the program needs a lot of room for discernment. They can do it as much times as possible. They can shadow in whatever department they choose. And the one thing that I'm grateful for with Health City Doctors is they've really come on board to carry out Dr. Debbie Shetty's vision in terms of seeing the next generation of young Caymanian doctors, nurses, scientists, technicians. They really, really come on board. They rarely ever say no when we reach out to shadow for a student to shadow them. And that shows where they align with Dr. Debbie Shetty's vision. And they've been really instrumental in carrying that out and allowing students to come and continue to discern these careers in healthcare. So that's basically what Shadow a Doctor is. It's just a 2-day program. You come in, you're allowed to shadow in whichever department you choose. And like I said, if it's something that you find out that, hey, this is not for me, I have students who say, well, I didn't enjoy this stuff. I didn't enjoy shadowing here, but I really enjoyed shadowing in physiotherapy. Or I didn't enjoy radiology, but I really enjoyed cardiology. And so we find that each time, at least what I find is every time a school break is approaching, we not only get new students coming into the program by word of mouth, because Now, Brown went and said to Sandra, well, I view this, you need to come in and see this. So what I find is we get a lot of emails saying that, hey, my friend told me that she saw a surgery or she did a shadow a doctor program, and now I want to come in. So we find that we have a lot of repeat students because it's a program that they really enjoy, and we're reaching a lot of new students just by word of mouth.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So
And
this is a fantastic
yeah.
opportunity. Yes.
And Sandra, just to mention that some of the success stories that we have are typically students who would have come and had 4 or 5 different interactions with Health City, whether it's whether it's through the shadow a doctor and then they come back for surf, or they have an internship. So we see where students come and they're testing and trying to see what they like to then take that career path, because especially in the medical field, you don't have to, yes, make your decision from the youngest of ages, but it typically helps if you have a taste of what it is at the age of 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you can kind of figure out that pathway and what subjects you need to take and how well you need to do in certain subjects if your goal is to be X, Y, or Z within the healthcare field. It just helps to get students on the right track from an early age, or to open their minds to all of the opportunities, which otherwise, when we weren't here before, they may not have necessarily thought that was an option, and typically would have taken your regular business types of courses. But now we're seeing so many of our young people excited about medicine and healthcare, and then taking those career paths in order to make sure that on the back end, they can have a career in medicine. And another one I would like Shakira to touch on is our on-demand videos, and then our science fairs, just because those are also 2 very important programs. All of them are important, but I definitely would like to highlight those as well. Shakira, can you talk about our on-demand videos? That we actually have these videos pegged to the curriculum. We work with the science teachers in the schools to see what they need to teach during that semester. And we actually develop videos using our medical facilities, doctors, and the such in order to teach lessons. Shakira, on-demand videos.
Beautiful.
So Health City actually has its own branded videos. So we have, I want to 26 videos we use in primary schools throughout high schools, and these tied in with how we advocate for STEM education in the schools. These videos, they tie in with chemistry, biology, and physics. And our doctors, we actually make live videos, real life videos with our doctors in Health City. And these, as I said, align with STEM education in the schools. These videos are used primarily in science. And when on-demand videos just started, they didn't necessarily exactly branch off, but today we have actually far surpassed, I think it's I want to say 38,000 views for our on-demand videos. So that's where we are now. Actually 23 videos in the catalogs. But what I find is, even since joining the team, Mr. Bush and I sat down and we said, how can we reach, more schools to get in line with us with on-demand videos. And even this year, I find that schools that we weren't reaching with on-demand videos are now actually emailing to request them, because they're realizing how helpful they were with aligning with the school's curriculum and actually the classes that they were teaching. We had a meeting with a primary school, I want to say maybe 2 months back or 3, and we sat down, and once we had the opportunity to share these videos with them via Zoom, they were actually blown away with how much they aligned with what they were actually teaching the students. But not only do we continue to try to progress in that area, but Mr. Bush and I, we constantly meet with the teachers to say, what are you guys working on, or what videos did you find that you could use more of, or they would come back and say, we need more chemistry videos, or, we need biology. And then we'll sit down and brainstorm and say, how can we come back now to meet their demands? So that's where we've been with on-demand videos, and it's definitely going good. And we listen to what the teachers say, and we meet constantly, see how we can better improve and how we can continuously meet the needs of these students.
Beautiful.
And Sandra, just to say that the way we go about the planning and the brainstorming is that we have our goals, we have our objectives, and then we look at our targets, right? How can we achieve our ultimate end objective? And at first, when you're thinking about it, it's like, okay, well, how do you reach the students? Oh, Instagram, back then when we first started, TikTok wasn't as big, but TikTok. And then you quickly realize that the persons who are there and responsible for them obviously are the parents. And then it becomes a little bit more difficult to necessarily reach parents. But the one place that they are and they're learning and they're going to be engaged is in school, right? And teachers are always looking at new and innovative ways of engaging the students. So these aren't just your regular videos, but these are videos that obviously use our medical professionals. Depending on age group, we make it age appropriate. But for instance, if they're teaching about light, we're able to show how light works, let's say in an MRI machine, in order to give that imaging and that imagery that you need in order to help grandpa to get better, right? And it makes those connections now where from a young age, they're seeing in the practical world how science is used to give us all of the great outcomes we have from a medical perspective. And when those connections happen and those aha moments happen, that's what we're excited about, that they then, after seeing those videos, want to come to Health City, want to shadow a doctor, want to shadow a nurse, want to understand everything about Health City. And that's why we're also excited now that we're going to be moving closer to town and Kamana Bay, where we're going to have, sorry, Shakira, that's going to be a little bit more of a drive for you, right? But we're going to be able to have more of our young people actually physically come into that location as well. It gets a little bit more of a stretch, and it has to be a full day if you're going to carry, kids from West Bay to East End. But if we're right there, it's going to be easier to get more tours to actually occur. And that's why, even though we're going to have our inauguration and our opening in July, we're not physically going to see patients until August, because we want to give as much time as possible to get as many students and as many people who want to see it through to see our operating theaters, to see what a hospital looks like, because there's certain areas that you're not going to be able to get big groups in once the hospital is up and running. So this is that once in a lifetime type of scenario that you can see the innards of a hospital. So if you get that call, don't turn it down and definitely come and see it as well. But we're excited about that. We're excited about our on-demand videos. We're excited about our Shadow a Doctor. And Shakira, can you touch on our science fairs, just because that was an innovative way to reach some of our younger students that you were a key part of? Did she disappear? That she was a key part of that program as well.
Yeah. Shall we watch a video? I think your internet might have dropped out, but shall we watch a video while we're waiting on her to pop back on?
Please.
With Healthcare Explorers, I was given an opportunity to really see what medicine could offer me. I knew from a very young age that I wanted to be a doctor, but without the experience that I got from Healthcare Explorers, from surf that I did a few years afterwards, I wouldn't have known just exactly what I could be.
So I did surf in 2016 or 15, one of them. I did it 3 times actually. When I first came, it was not all surf, it was Healthcare Explorers, so it was just like a week long. And then when I came the following year, it was a month long. I always rotated in physiotherapy because I always knew I wanted to do physical therapy, so I chose the field I was interested in.
So as part of my MBBS, in the final year, you have to organize an elective, which is basically experience outside of the university that you want before going into work. It's been a while since I've been back home. Now would be like the perfect opportunity to come back after almost 2 years. So I wanted to get more experience in fields that I'm interested in that I didn't get to as part of my MBBS. So oncology I did in London, and then I decided to organize neurology placement here.
Reflecting back now from being a high school student to now, 5-10 years later, I'm now a physical therapist, licensed to practice. I would say, know what you want to do, and even if you don't, find something that you like.
I would say definitely keep your mind open to the opportunities. While you're here, if you have the opportunity to be here, definitely immerse yourself as much as you can with the doctors, with the nurses, even the physiotherapists. They all have something to offer.
Now that I've finally completed my degree, I have my bachelor's in physical therapy. One, it's relieving that the school part is finally over, and I'm finally where I want to be, practicing, treating patients, making a difference in the healthcare system.
Me and two other students that got the opportunity to go to India, and it really helped me because that was the year before I started medicine. The next step is becoming a junior doctor in the UK. So in August, first week of August, I'll be starting my journey as a doctor.
All right, folks, don't forget 936-2626 telephone number. Shakira is back with us, again, talking about some of the programs that are available at Health City Cayman Islands.
Hi, Shakira.
Sorry, I think you may have kicked me out, but I had to pick up from where Shamari left as we continue to close.
No, sorry, Shakir. There's a little bit. I think there's a little bit of a delay. No, I was saying the science fairs. If you could touch on that, we can hear you. There's just a little bit of a delay on my end.
Yep. Go ahead, Shakir, if you can. Uh-oh. I think her internet is a little bit choppy.
You guys can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you guys hear me? Okay, good. So sorry, you guys lost me, but to pick up on where Shamari left off, as we continue to close these gaps in healthcare, for example, I'm really excited about the new hospital in terms of availability for shadowing with our students. Maybe like a month ago, I had a student email saying she wanted to shadow in neonatal ICU. And I thought, wow, this is something that Health City is now bringing to the table, and it'll allow new opportunities for students to have the ability to shadow. For even with radiation or ROC with Dr. because he has continuously helped with students in sharing his knowledge with them. And as you know, for some time, patients had to go overseas for cancer treatment. And now that we have it here on island, it also opened opportunities for our students to go there and shadow. And he has done a wonderful job in doing so.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. All right, let's, the internet's a bit spotty, but we were able to hear you perfectly clear. So we just saw Dr. Lexi Anglin, who's currently employed with the NHS in London, kind of sharing her story of how she started out with the Healthcare Explorers program. So again, it's not just a matter of what's going to benefit Health City Cayman Islands. It's just about getting them the experience and them being able to go anywhere in the world and getting their necessary internships experience, or just even deciding that that's exactly where they want to work. So congratulations to Dr. Lexi Anglin there as well. We also saw in that video from Melanie Smith, who did the CERP program, and she also did her internship at Health City Cayman Islands. And she was instrumental in Health City becoming accredited by the National Physiotherapy Council of Jamaica, and it is now a licensed full-time physiotherapist. She is now, a licensed full-time physiotherapist at Health City as well. Shaquille Connor, I understand, Shakira, that the two of you are related. Is that right?
Yes, that's my
Someone,
twin.
yeah, someone told me. Evelyn says, Sandy, Shakira is a twin. Her brother Shaquille is doing well also, and I'm so proud of them. So he worked. He was hired as a supply chain porter, trained as a central sterile supply department technician, and is now fully qualified and was successfully recruited for a leadership role in the central sterile supply department of another hospital. Wow,
Yeah.
that's
So Sandy, one thing that I always believe in is, at the end of the day, when you're training Caymanians, young Caymanians, even if they leave you, you hope that eventually they'll get more experience and as such, and they'll come back. But even if they don't come back, you did the right thing, and now you have more professionals within a certain field that are Caymanians, and that can only be good for the country. So it doesn't matter, train, put as much money into it as possible, and the country will be better. And by that, obviously, whatever organization you're with will also be better. And we're proud of Shaquille, and the fact that he came in as a porter. More or less, we once again saw, and he wanted to do better and take steps up, and he was trained in that area, and then he got a great opportunity for he and his family, and he went and he took it. But we kept the other half. We kept the other twin. so we're still doing well.
And just to touch on our SURF program, because I know we spoke about Shadow a Doctor, which is just a 2-day program, but SURF is is the premier internship program for Caymanian University students. It happens every July. It's a 4-week program that happens every July at Health City. And what it basically is as opposed to Shadow a Doctor, where you're shadowing for just 2 days, you are allowed to shadow in several different departments during your 4-week course. You can choose many different areas that you can shadow in, but also SURF is ideally based on a real life case study that actually, with a patient that actually happened. And coincidentally, that case study is based on my brother, who actually got into an accident in Health City. Through the work of God and using Health City doctors, they were able to actually save his life. And he had, he had several ribs fractured, a hole through his chest. He had a punctured lungs. And the students are actually able to view this case study. And not only are they able to view it, but they're also able to have real life. So the doctors actually come in face to face and give them lectures, and they're allowed to have a live Q&A, and they have to do a paper to basically document which doctors played an instrumental role and how they all came together to save this patient's life. So that is basically what SURF is all about. Not only do they get to actually have lectures from the various departments, whether that be nurses who played a role, the physiotherapist, procedure, Dr. Benoit, the anesthesiologist, Dr. Druva. So various people played, numerous people played these roles, but they also got to meet these consultants in real life and see how they contributed to this patient. And also they get to do a paper, as I said, a research paper, see how these different consultants played a very vital role in saving this patient's life. And they also get to go into the department and shadow these consultants and these doctors and see how it relates to what happened in the case study. And that happens for 4 weeks. As I said, that's happening in this July, and it gives a stipend of $1,000.
Fantastic. We do have a listener who sent in a comment on what's up. Says, good morning, Sandy. I went to Health City last week, Friday, and did my executive check. And I must tell you about the warm welcome I received. OMG. I was escorted all the way through to every department. The nurse was awesome. My doctor was very pleasant, and I felt special, as if I was a real celebrity. My results, by the way, are all good. and I got a nice little organizer with my results, and not to mention the free breakfast. It was well presented and it was made with lots of love. I enjoyed it. I'd recommend everyone to do their annuals at Health City. Please read this for Shamari. So there you go. Someone again taking advantage of those executive health checks, which we recommend that everyone do, and they'll tell you all the important numbers and whether or not you need to do that, do additional follow-up tests, or when you can go back for your routine checkup. So another success story, Miss Kayla Stewart, who joined Health City Cayman Islands as a medical secretary apprentice through a partnership with the National Workforce Development Agency, at the time now WORC. She's been hired as an international patient care representative and recently promoted to assistant manager of international patient care, and leads a team very capably. Wow. Fantastic.
Yeah. We're very proud of Kayla. So Kayla would have been with us from early days, old NWDA days, and saw her potential, gave her an opportunity, hired her, and then the international department, as it started growing, we saw her demeanor and obviously her work ethic, and decided to take her in that department. And she's been a cornerstone ever since. If you speak to patients from the various countries, they actually send in messages, they send videos about how great Kayla is, and it's really amazing that we got the opportunity after time. She was a little bit on the quiet side, and we were able to bring out when she needs it, the fact that she can be assertive as well, and she manages that team, and we're very proud that she's the assistant manager in the international patient care division, and doing a great job there as well.
Very good. All right. Some fantastic, Ingrid says, KK, big shout out to her. Some fantastic success stories here, without a doubt. Phone lines are open, 936-2626. You can feel free to call and ask a question about any of these programs. We do have a question that came in on WhatsApp from one of our listeners, and they wanted to know, let me just grab the question. They said, she's an inspiration, speaking to you, young lady. I'm so proud of her. Amazing young lady. Keep soaring. Is the program only for Caymanians, or can dependent children of work permit holders access the programs as well?
So depending on the type of program, those that have limited slots are for Caymanians. But however, if there aren't enough Caymanians to fill the spot, and you are a permanent resident or a child of a permanent resident, then you definitely be able to take part. But then obviously in our programs within the schools and the such, whomever is there would be able to take advantage of that as well. But our SURF program, which has limited spots, usually for university students, that typically would be for our Caymanians, for them to get that experience, that first-hand experience in that scenario as well. Mr. Just to also let you know, Sandy, I got a message from Mr. Arden McLean, saying he's listening to the program. He's also very proud of Shakira. He said, you can mention this on the radio. Fred Whitaker's grandson, he's in college doing sports medicine. So he's looking for some experience and a summer job. So we'll be reaching out to him, Mr. Arden, to make sure that we can see how we can get him within our orthopedics department as well. But he said, this is proof of outreach, which is true. Quite a few individuals in the community understand what we're doing, have that outreach, and then we try to help as best as possible to get as many Caymanians to come through our program. So thank you, Mr. Arden, as always, being able to reach out, and we're looking forward to seeing that young man as well.
Wonderful. Fantastic. All right. Yes, some real success stories here this morning. We do have a caller in the line. Good morning, caller. Hello? Uh-oh. Okay. I think she was calling from overseas, but not sure what happened. 936-2626. As you guys well know, you can always give us a call on WhatsApp. So even if you don't have any credit, call on the WhatsApp line.
Sandy,
yes.
Shakira, can you touch on the science fairs and how that's organized, based on the fact that was part of your brainchild as well? I'd love for you to touch on that.
So science fairs is fairly a new thing, not necessarily exactly new to the department, but we used to have science fairs for high school, so both John Gray and Clifton Hunter. But since rejoining in March 2023, Mr. Bush and I sat down and we said, we really think that we need to get primary schools involved in science fairs because, we believe if we can capture these students from a young age and sow the seed from then they can continue to grow. So we reached out to the primary schools right across the island, so none was left out. We believe in including all schools, and we reached out, and the science fairs really, really kicked off to our surprise. As I said, we had our first set last year, 2023, and we only happened to miss 3 schools once we reached out. And this year, we only happened to miss 1 primary school that wasn't involved, and they are getting involved. Right now, we're in the works of that, but that is just Health City's way of saying we're advocating for STEM education throughout Grand Cayman. Not only Cayman, Brac is also involved in science fairs, and uh, they're also taking up the opportunity to be a part of the science fairs. Going to those science fairs, I was the one who actually attended most science fairs this year, this go round. We had them in May. Was a really, really busy month. But even going to those science fairs, what I noticed was just attending them, what I saw was a room full of scientists. Those kids were actually living proof that with the right skills, tools, and opportunities, innovation could happen at any age. And that was something that we were proud of. They really excelled. If you were to see actually some of the projects that were, brought forth with circuits and, them showing us how to use, how they can create electricity, the volcanoes, certain explosions. I mean, they had so many different projects, and just seeing these students explain their methods, their hypotheses, what became of the results, it was truly amazing. And we look forward to continuing to partner with the primary schools to continue to advocate for STEM education, because it's really something that has really, really become a part of the program. And now we find that even as opposed to reaching out last year and saying, hey, this is something that we're thinking of, what do you think? We found that most schools reached out to us this year and said, hey, what is happening? Are we doing our science fair again? And that's the direction that we want to continue to move in.
Wow.
And just to mention that Shakira was the one who actually brought those ideas and that project to the table, because Charles was very proud to show me that he's like, we've been talking about how we can engage primary school students. Look at what Shakira did and what she brought to the table, and can we move forward? And I said, obviously, most definitely. So I know Shakira's playing it down, but she's done many great things, but that was one of the highlights when she first came, was to actually figure out a way first.
Also, once we've started the primary school science fairs, what we also used as an initiative to bring forth our on-campus field trips, because what happened was we actually do prizes. Of course, the kids are doing projects, and we sponsor trophies and awards and etc. But what I've been doing was incorporating our on-campus field trips as one of the prizes, so that they can actually get their foot into the hospital. I believe, in COVID, we did have virtual field trips, but as COVID passed, we continue to move forward. And, virtual field trips, we do offer them. They're always great as technology continues in the hospital, with the real like doctors, to actually ask them questions that they can answer right there, if they can go to the various departments. And you'd be surprised some of the questions that these students actually come up with. I'm like, where did you come up with? That's what we've been doing. So as we do science fairs, we continue to actually advocate for on-campus field trips and offer that as one of their prizes so they can actually come into the hospital and actually experience what it's like.
Wonderful. We do have a caller. I'm going to try calling her back. I know she's trying to call from the UK. So let's see if we can get her question answered. Bonnie says that she is so very proud of you. Know that you could do it. The sky is the limit. Thank you, Miss Bonnie from East End. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. You had a question for a guest this morning?
Yeah, I type it in. Where Shakol is working is in the US or the UK?
Shakira is in Cayman.
Oh, none of them is working overseas.
I think we mentioned earlier that there's a doctor who's at the NHS. So that was Dr. Lexi Anglin. She is in the UK.
I wonder which hospital she's working.
I don't know, but she's in London.
Yeah, well, maybe. I don't know. I hope she's in Lewisham area.
I'm not sure.
Okay, then.
All right, my
Thank
dear.
you.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, then.
All righty.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. I think she's trying to find a Caymanian doctor all the way in the UK. might be a tall order. I'm not too sure. All right. So we do know that Shakira has a hard stop of 8:30. So Shakira, thank you so much for joining us this morning. I believe this is your first time on the program. Hopefully it was relatively painless for you. But folks, Shakira, again, is the education specialist as part of the Healthcare Explorers program at Health City, Cayman Islands. Thank you so much, Shakira.
Yes, it is.
All right, Mr. Shamari. So you guys have been working extremely hard, and as the saying goes, you've only just begun. So I know that you have a lot of things on the agenda, no doubt, for the next 10 years. So anything new and exciting that you can reveal to us, other than obviously the upcoming tours of the new hospital there in West Bay, at Camana Bay, I should say properly.
Yeah, no, I mean, but the great thing is, as we bring on new technology, as we bring on new departments, it just expands the opportunities for students to see various areas, to see whether or not they want to be involved. With the new hospital, we'll obviously have all of the areas of cancer care. We currently have the radiotherapy that Shakira would have spoke about, that some of our youth are very interested in. We also are going to have the neonatology unit. We're going to have that Da Vinci machine that's going to be in Camana Bay as well, for minimally invasive types of procedures and as such. So it's just exciting times that we're going to have a facility that's closer to the majority of the population and the majority of the schools. Obviously not leaving our Eastern District schools out. If they want to travel to the school to the campus that we have in Georgetown, they can. If they still want to, visit the East End campus, they also can. We're just going to continue to keep the outreach to try and get as many young Caymanians to take medical career pathways if it's right for them. And the great news is, if they actually come and see it and go through extensive programs and decide that it's not for them, that also is a win, so that they from a very young age can kind of course correct and decide where they want to go. So we just look forward to expanding our healthcare explorers, over 50,000 quality student interactions over the 10 years.
Wow.
And many students would have gone through many different programs to convince themselves that this is what they want to do. And that's what we want, as many students to come through as many programs as possible in order to be the future of healthcare in the Cayman Islands.
Wonderful. All right. How can people find out more? Maybe we've got some parents or even some teenagers listening this morning to the program, and they would like to find out a bit more.
Yeah, definitely. So the info at healthcity.ky is always easy to remember. So go ahead and shoot us an email there, and we'll be able to get that triage to go through to the education department. And then they'll be able to see where best the individuals fit or what they're interested in, and to see if we can actually match that up. And we look forward to seeing more and more of our students coming through and enjoying what Health City has to offer.
Okay, very good. All right, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
And today's coffee mug is Ripley's Believe It or Not. So
That's a good one. That's a good one. I don't know where you get so many coffee mugs from, but I feel like
well, when you're at Ripley's to do with education, right? All of these
yes,
unique facts. So I thought that made sense for
that
today.
made sense for today's show. Absolutely.
Thanks, Andy.
Thank you so much.
NBA finals begin this Thursday. I have no
Oh
dog
yeah.
in the fight, so you won't hear me talk about it much. But Dallas is going to win. Yeah. So
Oh,
Boston is not winning. Okay, no dog in the fight, but Dallas is.
Keep us updated. We'll see
I
you next
will.
week.
I will.
Have a good one. Thanks so much.
CMR has reached an incredible milestone of having the #1 talk show and being the people's #1 choice for news. We would like to wholeheartedly thank you, our loyal listeners and followers, for making this possible. This is going to be an amazing year of continued growth and acceleration, and we would like for you to be a part of the journey. If you have a company that's struggling to reach your targeted customer base, why not reach out to CMR's sales team? With over 200,000 followers on both Instagram and Facebook, your message will be more impactful by advertising with us. Speak to a sales specialist today about all of the ways in which we can help you elevate your game to the next level. Email us on sales@caymanmarlroad.com or call 324-1612 for a consultative meeting.
All right, folks, welcome back again. Happy Tuesday. We are here to bring you all the latest news headlines from all over the Cayman Islands, all 3 of our beautiful islands and beyond. So we have a number of short news clips. We're going to talk about, there was a situation over the weekend involving a stolen vehicle. We didn't get to talk about that yesterday. And just for the record, by the way, just FYI, I know we took some time and we talked about the off-reg response to CUC. We only got through page 1. I don't know if you guys realize that or not, but we didn't really make a whole lot of headway. But I understand the concept of doing things in small, manageable bites. And some of you with a very short attention span, Hunter, was like, okay, I'm done with this CUC conversation. Y'all can't be done with a conversation when it's this critical and this important to all aspects of our lives here in the Cayman Islands. Y'all aren't done with the conversation when you're constantly complaining about it. So we just want to make sure that we get the facts. Now, we have requested certain documentation because we're going to continue the conversation. We want to do it from a perspective of being well informed and having the facts in front of us. So we have reached out to Off-Reg, asking them for correspondence, copies of correspondence between them and CUC, because we need to see exactly what was requested. Because it occurs to me, and I'm not going to go too deep down this rabbit hole this morning, but it occurs to me as I read through their letter that they were kind of splitting hairs a little bit when they were talking about what was officially requested in relation to the con, right? So, we have footage of CUC from 2021 where basically they talked about this move to solar and the expansion, and that really that's what they want. We now see that Off-Reg has said, it doesn't look like they, as a regulatory agency, was ready in 2021 to really start having a conversation about solar. But the question remains, right? We know for a fact that in 2019 and 2021 being the most important and relevant date, that CUC had reached out to Off-Reg talking about, this is forecasting, this is what's going on. And so they claimed that they were going to start procuring this 21 megawatts, and what has happened since then, only God knows. We're just giving you all the facts, and then the facts at some point have to be supported by documentation. So we have asked for documentation to be supplied to us. Good morning, caller. Are you trying to call the program? Hello? Hello? Yeah, you can't be calling me on my personal number between 7:30 and 10:30 each and every morning from Monday through Friday. All right. So yes, we're going to get the facts. We've asked Off-Reg to provide us with documentation. Just show us what they said. If you're splitting hairs because it's firm versus non-firm, or they didn't request non-firm, listen. the people just need to know, okay? Because y'all trying to blame an entity for something that, in fact, they say that they did their part. They went to OFREG and they notified OFREG. Obviously, as a business, they said, hey, we got a solution in place. We're ready to pull the trigger. But if OFREG says, no, you can't pull the trigger, and we're going to open it up to competitive bid process, then that is, exactly what was done. Now, I want to remind you guys that also in 2022, let me see if I can just put my hands in this article real quick. Like I said, I'm not really going to go down this rabbit hole too far today, but there's tons of evidence of what OFREG was saying throughout the time that seems a little bit contradictory now. But back in 2022, they issued a statement. And let me see if I can find it real quick. About the fact that they were going to be launching this same procurement process by the end of that year. And here we are in 2024, and it still hasn't been done. So let me go back here. Yes. So October of 2021, in fact, regulators seeking massive investment in renewable energy auction scheme will encourage bids. So a new auction scheme aimed to generate massive investments in solar and wind power over the next decade to help kickstart Cayman's transformation to renewable energy was launched. The island's national energy policy has set a target that 70% of the jurisdiction's electricity supply will come from renewable energy by 2037. And that figure currently stands at between 5% or 10 megawatts. OFREG, again, that's the utilities regulator, aims to add 25 megawatts of power from utility scale solar annually for the next 3 years. And it is aiming to add 30 megawatts of wind power by 2028. Needless to say, OFREG is behind schedule. And you cannot blame CUC for that. I'm sorry. So OFREG said in a statement, this was back in October of 2021, that it would commit to a pipeline of auctions under the Renewable Energy Auction Scheme to allow businesses to bid against each other to supply energy through long-term contracts at the lowest possible price. And that scheme, then this was Malik Cummings, who at the time was CEO of OFREG. I don't even think he's there anymore. But the auction framework, he claims, had been successful in other jurisdictions and would provide a transparent, competitive, and robust means to develop utility-scale renewable energy projects without adding to the cost of consumers' monthly bills. And where are we with this? 2021, and here we are now in 2024. I'm just saying, let's call a spade here. In fact, it's so interesting to me that people are critical of CUC, saying, wow, look at CUC. They went and purchased land after the government made this announcement. If you own a business, I can assure you that this is what you do. You future-proof your business. You go, oh, right, government has said they're going to do this. We need to start preparing to make sure that we are adequately in a position to be able to bid on this and be competitive. You don't sit back on your rear end and do absolutely nothing. I mean, you wouldn't have a very successful business if that's what you did. So I do find it really interesting that people are critical of CUC for actually being proactive and saying, well, look at them. They were grabbing land, but it was cheaper. Isn't that what you do? I mean, not for nothing, but what kind of business are y'all? Oh, I'm sorry. Pump the brakes. Y'all want people to operate like governments. Where you do things after the fact and you pay double and quadruple and cripple. Yeah, it should be cripple. Quadruple the price. And then you do it when it doesn't even make any sense. Y'all need to learn how to run a successful business. I'm just saying. Anywho, like I said, we're not going down that rabbit hole today. What I want to do is I do want to discuss how we're going to help 2 young men in the Cayman Islands further their aspirations to go to really amazing basketball high schools. Now, yesterday, y'all know that I was a little bit perturbed, to say the least. Auntie gets perturbed occasionally. With the Ministry of Youth and Sports chief, what is he? The deputy chief officer. My apologies. He's not the chief officer. He's the deputy chief officer. After a group of parents and young people met with him in relation to some opportunities, what they thought would have been some sponsorship opportunities through the ministry to give these young men a bit of a head start. So, their response, I shouldn't say their response, because I don't know that Dalton was actually speaking truly on behalf of the ministry, so to speak. He seems to have been off on a frolic of his own, to be quite frank and honest. But his response was less than desirable, put it that way, and really put a bad taste in the mouths of the parents of these young men. So here's what this is, right? The two young men have been afforded what would be considered very amazing opportunity to attend one of the most prestigious sports academic institutions, as a high school in Florida, a milestone that hasn't really been achieved by anybody else in this community. So this opportunity is a testament to both their individual dedication and talent and determination, as well as the sacrifices that their parents have made. Listen, if you're a youth athlete, you will know that it takes a lot to really, one second for me. It takes a lot to really focus on both your education and also to be athletic and to focus on putting in the time and the effort and the energy that it takes to really get to a certain level within your sport. And so, we try to encourage our young people as much as possible. Sports, like I said earlier, music and art and other things other than straight academics is helpful in making them much more well-rounded. I can tell you, for example, in the United States of America, the kids who stand out on college applications, the ones who, get opportunities to go to some of the most prestigious schools and get entered in all sorts of programs, are those who demonstrate that they cannot just keep their head in a book all day, but they can study, make good grades, do sports. They're involved in art, they're involved in community work, and they do all these other things as well. Thinking back many, many moons ago, the valedictorian, when I was in high school, my valedictorian had over a 5.0 GPA, because, they do extra credits. So there's 4.0, and then he went above the 4.0 level. But he also was a small business owner. He was working, had his own little lawn mowing business in order to be able to save up, because he came from a single mom household, and he was trying to save up money in order to be able to go to university, in addition to the scholarships that he would have been granted. So these things are extremely important to the development of our young people. We have been hearing, shocking information and examples of our young people who are struggling with their mental health, and physical activity is proven beyond a doubt to be one of the things that's extremely beneficial to your mental well-being, getting out there, getting some exercise, and so on. So to know that two young men have been afforded this opportunity, it does come at a cost to their families. And, the response so far has been lackluster. I really want to see what we can do to help them obtain some additional sponsorship. So they need to get money at this stage to put down what would be like the initial deposit to hold their spots, because this is a competitive world, folks. And if they're not ready financially, there'll be other people who've been made the offer who will take up this opportunity. So here's what I am suggesting. I am getting on my knees today, and I'm begging any and everybody who is listening to help me help these young people. Listen, when it comes to young people, I think that we need to not just be about the talk, we need to be about the walk. And basically, it's over $44,000 US for this 3-year program. The young man has put a little prospectus together about who he is and what he's up to, things that he has achieved on the court, what his journey has been like. And I think this is amazing. I love the professionalism of even putting this together. It's the DME Academy. I just want to see a young person, whatever height that they can achieve. I don't think that it should be stopped because they can't afford to do it. We spend too much money in this country and in this community on things that sometimes make me shake my head and a little bit nonsensical. So I'm going to be begging. Yes, I ain't too proud to beg. When it comes to our young people, dig deep into your wallets this morning and let me know how you can help. I've put together a little voice note. I'm sending that out to a bunch of people on my contact list in hopes that they will circulate it amongst their friends. Yes, I know people who $44,000 is nothing. They can sneeze that out over a weekend of partying and whatever. I'm not asking them for the full amount. I'm like, listen, you got a little $500, you could spare instead of going to the cigar shop for the weekend and spending that or drinking that out, at a pool bar or whatever. Just throw it in the way of our young people. Invest in our young people, right? So, I've got people requesting and begging for money all the time. Just this morning, I need help with rent. Honey child, we help so many people with food, vouchers, and rent, and y'all still in the same position. You're not improving yourselves. You're not getting a job. You're not keeping a job. There are times that we help you get jobs, and y'all are still sitting there not doing your part. Our young people, clean slate, right? They just need an opportunity. So I am saying, let's help them. This is our obligation. It's our desire. And I think that we should all be on board. So who's with me this morning? Can I start getting some pledges? And this is very impromptu. I kind of was in the shower this morning. Isn't it amazing how when you're in the shower, you start to think about all sorts of things? I have the most amazing thoughts in the shower. Like I get some good ideas when I'm scrubbing and rubbing. So I was thinking this morning, why didn't I just do a little impromptu, So listen, I want y'all to call me. Y'all have the show number. You can WhatsApp me. However you want to donate. Let's do something this morning to really try to help our young people. So the individuals that I know, I'm sending them requests this morning. So if you see a video request come from me, you now know what it's all about. It's me shamelessly or not so shamelessly, I don't care how you take it, begging on behalf of these young men to see what funds we can put together for them. Okay? So all the lawyers that I know, I'm thinking of a few of you as I speak. You will be getting messages from me asking for donations. Doctors, y'all will be hearing from me this morning. And just the average person. Listen, you got a little $100, 50 people give $100. We're well on our way. Yeah. So please, business owners, MPs, all of you, dig deep in your pockets and see how you can assist this morning. Who's going to be the first caller to give me a call, 93626, and go ahead and pledge to help our young people? Don't be shy. This is our youth, and we have to make the necessary investments in them. So I'm going to see, making sure the phone lines are open. Hold on now, honey child. This thing is always trying to reboot and start up. All right, phone lines are open, 936-2626. I am expecting some phone calls right now. Who's going to pledge to help our young men get into this amazing program at, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the university. And listen, if you need information, I can send you this prospectus. This is DME Academy. Again, they're a fully accredited program for students in grades 6 through 12. And postgraduates are taught to balance academic expectations with their unique athletic skill set. And they have a very diverse student body from 46 different countries and sets the stage for a collaboration and shared learning experience. So, I mean, again, I think this is fantastic because not only do our young men get this amazing opportunity to learn and be overseas, but also an amazing opportunity, quite frankly, to be involved in an environment where they're going to meet children internationally, these are the experiences that are once in a lifetime. Like when I tell you these young men will forever cherish this throughout their lives, that's no joke. They will walk away from this, and 50 years from now, they're going to be saying, you know what? The people of the Cayman Islands came together and offered me an amazing opportunity to be able to go abroad, to study, to meet all of these people. These are going to be lifelong connections and friends. We're going to have, them meeting people who will open doors, and this will open opportunities, future opportunities to them as well. So I see some people saying that they want to donate. So just give me 1 second. I'm going to put you directly in contact. I'm not going to be taking any funds and then passing along sort of thing. I'm going to put you directly in contact with the parent who has been trying to meet with the ministry, trying to meet with others in the community and organize it. And then you can sort out donations directly to him. So yes, give me 1 second. And I thank you very, very much. She says, hi, Sandy, how can we donate? Please suggest a way. So give me 1 quick second here, and I'm going to send you all of the information on exactly how you can make your donation. So anybody else willing to donate, please. I know that, sacrifices have to be made and times are tough for everybody, but your contribution will be just amazing for these young men. So we've got another young lady. She says she wants to commit to $100. Please send me the account number. So let me just double check something here. And of course, I'm going to do a little pledge myself as well. All right, phone lines are open. Why are my phone lines quiet? Let me get my I'm taking antibiotics, by the way. I'll tell you all about my dental visit later, but let me get my what we call this now. It's actually a back scratcher, but it's going to be my teacher's ruler this morning, because I need to see these phone lines blowing up because, I'm asking y'all to help our youth. So I need to hear from you all, $50, $100, anything about how you're going to be pledging. Okay, honey child. Miss Lucille, good morning.
Good morning. It's only one way I can do. If I can't manage that way, you have to. You know how I do it.
Yes.
So I'll talk to you later. You give me details.
All right.
Okay. That's the only way I can do it, like I always do. Okay.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And of course, like I said, I'm happy to send you all the prospectus of this young man. So I see someone here says, please send me the details, including how to donate. So fantastic. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, all right, Miss Lucy. You have to help me. You have to help me.
Yes, I know you're overseas, so we'll get you sorted. Thank you, darling.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
All right. So let me see here. We appreciate that. So let me just send you the prospectus, and yeah, forward this to your friends. Listen, I know when y'all ready, y'all can take a vacation over the weekend to Miami and Vegas and Cuba and Honduras and other places, and you can drop a couple $1,000 really, really easy. So I'm not asking you to give up much, maybe just a little weekend of wining and dining and a little bit of fun. So I'm told that the bank account information it'll be the basketball association. So they're going to get me that bank account information, and then we're going to send that across. So dig deep, folks. Our young people are struggling on so many different levels. And I think what makes the struggle even more challenging is when they don't think that they have the necessary support in the community. So this person is mourning at this time. I don't have as much as I would love to donate, but I can still give $50. Let me tell you something. $50 is still good money, and it's a lot of money. And you know what? It helps. So thank you so much. And I will get you the account information. Now, what you can do for me is you can use your network of individuals to spread the word. So you're thinking, oh man, Sandy, I can only give $50. We appreciate it. It comes from a good place. That's fantastic. So guess what? You can give 50, maybe another friend can give 50. And before you know it, your amazing network of friends can each give 50, $100, $500, whatever. And these young men are going to have, again, this amazing opportunity. So I'm getting the bank account number as we speak. And I expect to hear my phone ringing off a little bit more this morning. So 936-2626 is the telephone number. Y'all can really make me beg this hard this morning. I mean, like, really? Okay. I did say I wasn't ashamed to beg. So y'all go, Sandy, we're going to test that theory. Someone else says, please send the prospectus. I will see if any corporate entities can assist. Yes. Thank you very much. I will do that right now, and I'm going to send it to my my large group of individuals who hopefully will be able to make a contribution. So, and I reached out to the ministry as well. Although I'm disappointed in the response from Mr. Dalton, I do think that the ministry should step up and help in some way, shape, or form. So, you know, the minister has promised me that he will be personally reviewing it and seeing what can be done. So this person says, my 8-year-old daughter recently got $50 for her birthday. And she said, oh, she's so sweet. And she said that she would like to donate that to help these young people. And I'll match her donation. Please send me the details. Thank you. Tell your daughter she is amazing. And thank you so much. You can imagine, 8 years old. 8 years old, folks. And she got a little $50 for her birthday. Most 8-year-olds would be like, I'm going to be spending that on God knows what, chocolate, candy, whatever. And this little 8-year-old is so thoughtful that she is going to share that to help some other young people realize their dream. My goodness. That just is, you're raising your daughter right. Let me just tell you. That's truly amazing. Thank you so much. Lots of business owners out there. I know that y'all can make a little contribution. So, you know, I hate to ask all the usual suspects. You know, there's some companies who always are on the line for giving. And so, but I'm going to be begging everybody, just thinking of who else I know. So yes, I'm begging some people over at DART that I know, not necessarily the DART organization themselves, but people who work for DART. Somebody said CUC is one of them that's always giving. I know, I hate to even ask. I don't even want to message the CUC people. Flo, can y'all help? Anybody? And again, you know, I'll be the first to say that a lot of these companies really do an amazing job of stepping up to the plate. The Fosters, another amazing organization that's always helping, but I'm going to be begging them too. I'm going to be begging everybody today. So if you get this request from me, you now know what it's about. I'm sending it right now to Mr. Woody and some of the other Foster's clan. Taylor, Woody, who else do I know? Robert Foster. Anybody else? Kevin, you got a nice fancy car. Maybe you got an extra $500 laying around. I'm just saying. Help us out here. Help us out. Let me just send along. And like I said, I did a little voice note this morning, so I'm going to send that along as well. So you'll get a personal voice note from me. That should be worth $500, don't you think? Y'all like, please. We hear you every day, girl. Let me see if I can find that. Yes. So circulate it wide and far. I see Vanessa saying, thank you, Sandy. My princess is back home. So Vanessa's little dog ran off. I don't know where she went. She thought somebody had stole her, but I think she probably just ran off being naughty. And she ran off, and Vanessa loves her dog and offered a $500 reward for the safe return of her dog. And yesterday, CMR posted it, And thankfully, the dog was safely returned home. So look at that. If a dog is worth $500, and y'all know I love my dog, and I mean, actually, Zeus is priceless, but you know, we would pay all kind of money to get a dog back. Surely you can cough up a little bit of money here today to help support some of our young people. Anybody else wants to make a pledge? Don't y'all be shy now. Feel free again to give me a call this morning. So yes, I'm just forwarding to as many people as I know all of the details. So let me see here now. Yes. So I'm going to send this out to everybody. And yeah, I'll get they're getting the bank account information for me now as well. Okay. Y'all are awfully quiet this morning. I'm just saying. So yesterday afternoon, so Dakota, it's a very good question. Dakota says, did you get an NPO? I think you said Mr. Panton said you needed one to ask for funds. No, actually the bank said that, girl. The bank, y'all know they're very big on KYC and FYI and FOI and all this kind of stuff. So they don't like commingling of funds and all kind of stuff. So they said, Sandy, we see a couple transactions, so I'm not taking any money into your account. And what is this? Because they listen, every dollar I can account for. So I'm like, y'all be trying to lie on me, talking about nobody giving me no money. I can count for stuff. I got invoices. I'm like, hey, everything's above should be running, right? And so I had explained to them on like 2 occasions, we'd done like some fundraising. Remember the one lady with her rent? And then there was another case. I can't remember what that one was. But anyway, doing little impromptu donations. And you guys were so kind to send funds and donate. And the bank said, if you're going to do that, we need you to set up an NPO. So I was going to get the NPO set up, but I have to register it. And it's a whole process. And to be honest, I'm legitimately so busy that I haven't really had the chance to do it. So whenever I help people, I'm just going to say, hey, here's the person's information. Send the funds directly to them. I'm not going to be the conduit to receiving any funds because I can't be I can't be affording. Is that grammatically correct? I can't be affording. That doesn't sound right. I can't afford is probably more grammatically correct. Yeah. I cannot afford to get in no trouble whatsoever with my favorite bank. Yes, my personal banking manager child, he'd be watching everything. So, having said that, I'm just waiting on the bank account number, and then I'm going to send that across to all of you. All right. So I have so many, oh my gosh, Dakota, I have so many, on any given day, I have a whole list of things that I need to work through and to get done. I'm actually looking at my to-do list right now. Lord Jesus. I do need to put in a business license or something else also. All right, Miss Emma, good morning, and thank you so much for joining the program. Everton says, come on, people, help your man and woman when it's time for SUS. The phone is blowing up. Yes, it's time to step up to help y'all. People on the phone is silent. Don't come at me. Just speak the truth. Debbie says, I cannot afford it. Listen, that's fine. I know times are tough for a lot of people. And if you cannot afford it, you just can't afford it. Take care of yourself first. Make sure that your bills are getting paid. That is the most important thing. But I do know that there are a lot of people who can afford a small to medium-sized donation. Okay. I'm just saying, a lot of you spend money in things that are not necessary, such as alcohol and cigarettes and cigars and all this other kind of stuff. So all I'm saying is, don't go out drinking for a weekend and donate that money instead. I used to sit down with people, and I always found this interesting, happy hour on the weekend. And you guys know I don't really drink, but I'd go and hang out with them for happy hour on, a Sunday. It's not Sunday, Friday happy hour. And man, when they got the bill, I was like, how much is that bill? Let me give you my money for, let me give you that money for my soda, which wasn't really that much. But geez, peace. I was shocked at how much they would sit down every single Friday. I mean, hundreds of dollars. And they didn't complain. I mean, they would sit there and complain about paying the phone bill, the utility bill. But I'm telling you what, when it came to drinking their little, I don't know, rum and Coke or whatever the heck they were drinking, no complaints to be had. And I always found it so interesting. So people choose, what they want to spend their money on. Of course, that's your right. You work hard for it. If you want to drink it and booze it away, well, I guess that's your right too. You can certainly do that. But it did kind of strike me as being incredibly interesting. The things that we prioritize. Good morning, caller. As being incredibly interesting. Hello, caller.
Morning,
thank you, Miss
Sandy.
Debbie.
I like.
Yes, honey.
Yes, Ms. B's janitorial service would like to donate to the cause, to the pledge
Thank you
for the
so
kids.
much. Bless you, honey.
So send me the information and everything.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm getting it. So let me just put down your number and I will send it to you momentarily in WhatsApp.
Thank you, lovely.
Okay.
You have a good one.
You too. All right, 936-2626. Can I get a couple more people pledging this morning? Thank you, Debbie. You're trying to correct what I was saying. Yeah, my brain was all tied up there for a second. Waking up the Cayman Islands. Good morning from the UK. What's the donation for? Just tuning in. Is it for a house? That's a good idea. No, it's not for a house. It's to help our young people get into a school where they will be actually going overseas. It's quite a prestigious program, and they're going to, it's a basketball school, but very, very prestigious school. So we're helping them get some of the deposit and tuition money together. Good morning, caller.
I will donate $150.
Hold on one second. We got two callers on here, but I can hear one and not the other. So 1 second to my 945 number. Miss Angela, you're going to make a donation this morning?
Yes, ma'am. $150.
Oh, you're so wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm just going to make some little notations here of people that I need to send the bank account number to. Yeah. So I'm going to send it to you shortly this morning, okay?
Okay, thank you. Have a
Okay,
good
thanks,
day.
darling. I appreciate it. And we do have another caller in the other line. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to write these down because sometimes the memory is not the best. So thank you, my dear. Yes, caller. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, darling.
I'd like to donate, but I don't know what I'm donating for. But
you kind of tuned in.
I just got on the program.
All right. Well, let me tell you a little bit about it. So I'll just go ahead and because again, I appreciate that some people might not have been fully listening. So we have two young men who have been accepted into this academic and basketball high school. And so it's considered a very prestigious program for them to have even, be given the opportunity. It's called DME Academy. And it's reimagining the way student athletes learn, engage, and grow. And it has a flexible, fully accredited program where students in grades 6 through 12 and postgraduate are taught to balance academic expectations with their unique athletic skill set. And two Caymanian young men have been afforded this opportunity now to go abroad. And, it's considered an elite multi-sport training and educational institution. And they are, it's in Daytona Beach, Florida. And they have been afforded this opportunity now to go and be in this program. So the parents had reached out. I was telling people earlier, this is why I was a bit annoyed yesterday at Mr. Dalton, because they did take all the proper steps. They put a perspective together, which I can send to you. And they have, contacted the ministry, met with him, was supposed to get a decision from them, but he didn't bother to even respond to their post-meeting, instead he got all up in his feelings. So anyway, we're going to bypass Dalton this morning and try to help our young men as best as we can. So they're doing their part. And, they're part of the under 15, under 16 national team. They've committed academically and scholastically and in terms of their athletics as well. And so we want to be able to help them, make this a fruition. So basically, the tuition is $44,850 for 3 years. It is a high school program. And at this time, we're pushing to get them the initial deposit just to secure their spot. So that's really why I am on my knees this morning begging for a donation on behalf of our young people.
Yeah, I know I did one last year for a young manager, but I guess this is another one.
Mm-hmm.
So this year, I know that my brother will give me if I ask him. I'll do 500.
Thank you so much.
Because he's Cape-Man Academy, and he loves to help the young people.
Oh, good.
Virgil.
Oh
yeah,
my
he'd have a
goodness.
passion, and so do I. So I will definitely give $500.
Thank you so much. So what I'll do
Yes,
is
ma'am.
I'm going to get you the, I've got you on WhatsApp. I'll send you the details it'll be going to the Basketball Association, to their NPO account. So I'll get you the details of that here shortly.
It's not a problem.
All right,
I
my
saw
dear.
you also have up the port. So what
Lord.
were you?
That is such a hot mess, honey child.
No, because the other day they changed on they changed actually the fees. I had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went to pay for my goods, I had to pay an extra $1,900. Okay.
Mm.
So I said to them, I didn't know, you didn't send me nothing, and I'm somebody to do every week. How many times? And I was away and whatever. And I was told they don't do storage waivers anymore, but I was actually told by someone to go in and ask a certain person and let them give me the form. I called back the individual that told me so, and until today they haven't answered me back. Not even good morning.
Wow.
Somebody I know very well. Hey, one thing for you to whatever. If you're not gonna do it, just say I can't beat you. Just tell me, but don't tell me to do something. Then I'm calling you, and sometimes we have these people in this position. They talk about, oh, Caymanians, we be there, we do better. They don't do no better, half of them, not one bit better. Sometimes some of the foreigners do better than my own Caymanian side, but it's true. And it shouldn't be that way. Just tell me. Don't have me calling. You see I calling. You're ignoring me. I send you a message. You don't say nothing. So I just didn't bother anymore. Call it a day. And that was it. Yeah, I was short a couple of dollars for $2,000.
Wow.
Had no idea.
They had increased the fees recently. That's right.
Yes. $200 and something a day. And me, that is, every week. I have so much stuff coming in. At least, send out to those people, especially that constantly, support you. Shannon, we don't have a choice, but that those that do every week or every month, please let us know. The fees has changed.
Yeah, I think we had done a story on it, but I must admit that, a bit lackluster and probably getting the word out there beyond the standard press release. But thank you so much, caller, for the donation. And yeah, we're going to talk about the port a little bit. It's such a sad situation with the port. I don't know what to say. They're just going from bad to worse. But thank you so much, caller. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, too. Have a good day.
You too.
Okay.
All right, Miss
Bye.
Sharon Smith stepping up to the plate. She says, good morning, Sandra. Please send me the bank account info. I'd like to make a donation. Thank you so much, Miss Sharon. You are amazing as always. Phone lines again, open 936-2626 if you'd like to donate. We have a spammer in the comment section, Harry Graham, talking about he's from the Samsung company. No, you're not. So we have blocked him and deleting all of the annoying comments. Leanna says it's a crying shame how government couldn't give these youths a scholarship. And these are the MPs we keep voting in that do not care about the future of our youth. Well, Leanne, the Minister of Sports and Youth and Sports and Heritage has promised me today, because I did message him this morning, like I said, as I got out of the shower, child, I was bothered by this situation. And I sent him a voice note, communicating my dissatisfaction. And he did say that they're in cabinet this morning because it is Tuesday morning. And after cabinet, he was going to look into this and get back with something by end of day. So of course, I am definitely going to be holding him to that. Thank you, Miss Debbie. I saw the person spamming and I've since blocked them, but thank you so much. So again, athletics and academics go hand in hand. I know that so many of you are now messaging me. Thank you very much. I'm just writing down some names. And I appreciate everybody who can step up to the plate and provide a donation. Again, feel free to call. All right, Miss Karen, I'm going to send it to you here in a second. And if some of you need the information via email, then I can also just send me your email account and I can also send it to you by email as well. All right. Very good. We'll send the... Okay. Okay. All right, we're going to do it. We are going to get these young men there. Trust and believe. This is the commitment that you need to your youth. Listen, I'm very serious when it comes to making whatever sacrifices we need to make for our children. You know, here's the thing. Like I said, we're critical of them when they're not doing what they should be doing. We try to hold them accountable, which is fair. And, you know, I don't have any problems with that. But I also think that when they're on the right path and they're doing the right thing, you as parents, you've got to be their number one cheerleader, their number one back flipper. You do back flips for your kids. You do whatever it takes to ensure that they, thank you, sir. I got another pledge there for $100. I appreciate it. Whatever it takes to ensure their success and push them in the right direction. It's all about sacrifices. And, you know, a lot of us would have grown up in homes and environments where our parents, sometimes we didn't know it or we didn't appreciate it. We're making the necessary sacrifice to make sure that we could get an education, that we could, you know, even take little trips and get involved in stuff. And they did it. And it is now our responsibility as parents to do our part as well. You know, I only have the one daughter, and I'm going to give her every opportunity in life to have all of the amazing experiences. I want her to be able to travel. I want her to be able to see the world. I want her to learn as much and to really, you know, live to her fullest potential. There's no more that a parent should want for their child. You know, we should always want more for our children, more opportunities, more everything, not more material things, more opportunities really than we would have had growing up. You know, and I think that's so important. A lot of us as children didn't get to travel until we were of a particular age. Some of us didn't even get to travel till we were adults, really. Some of us didn't get to go to university. We didn't have any of these experiences. And when I was talking earlier about how these experiences can really put an indelible mark on your memories, on your life, there's no two ways about it. I mean, some of my most fantastic experiences as a kid growing up in the States was going on field trips, you know, going to different, I remember when I got to see up close and personal, oh gosh, what's the bird called again? The bird of prey, the eagle, the American eagle. Like, you know, you don't get to see an American eagle every day. And to see that on somebody's hand, on the talon, and to be able to touch a bird like that. And I mean, there's just so many things that, having gone to school in the States, their system's a little bit different, I think, than Cayman, but they did amazing field trips and stuff. And this was public school. My aunt couldn't afford private school. I was in the public school system in Tampa, and they just had some amazing experiences that I was able to take advantage of. And I'm telling you, when I reflect back on my childhood and some of the things that I really enjoyed doing, it was just all of these things, you know. So help your young people to be more fuller individuals by giving them these amazing experiences, and whatever you have to do to sacrifice, right? I kind of joke, and I've said this before, and it is a joke, obviously, but I say to my husband all the time, we have this joke about polls, and I've said to him, I mean, it is a joke, but I guess if push came down to shove, honey child, there's worse things you could be doing out there. But I told my husband, I'm like, listen, if I got to work the poll, you know, I'm going to make certain sacrifices for my daughter to be able to have a certain quality of life. It's one of the reasons why I only have the one child, because I can't afford anymore. And I'll be honest with you, I probably could afford more. I probably could afford one more if I was younger. But it's not just about the affordability in terms of money, it's your time. And my time is very, very limited. And having, finding the time for individual children, not always clumping them in as a group. If you have 4 or 5 kids, how much individual time do you spend with each child to make them know that you're special? You and I have a special connection. You and I have things that we're going to do together that I'm not going to do with any other of your sibling. It's just you and I. Like, what do you love to do? You and I are going to go to art class together. You and I are going to go swimming together. These are the things that I think are so incredibly important when you have children. And unfortunately, the more you have, the harder it is to kind of split yourself in 4 or 5 different ways, Good morning, caller.
Yes, and I just wanted to say, because you're talking about the amount of kids we have, sometimes people don't help because, they could afford to give the child the amount of money they need to go away and do different stuff, but sometimes our kids go exceptional well. They go above and beyond. You understand? And the parent had no expectation this child was going to be a special child, reach these goals. And my people, sometimes I hear them talk a lot of, she should have known what she had. But let me tell you something. You see the richest man and the poorest man, anything they could do to help another human being, we should do. Because if a rich man, even rich, and he's in a hospital bed and have nobody that can bring him that money and nobody that's cared for him, he'll die and leave the money in the bank. The poorest man could be right there and giving more. And because of what you do, God will send somebody. I believe that. I've seen it, to help you and to give you what you need.
Absolutely.
So we need to start helping one another if we can. That's if we can, because people are struggling, like you say. That's if we can. There are times I have done without. I never let the person know, but they was in a worse position than I was. And at that time, I couldn't afford, but I know I had $1 come in at the end of the month or next week. And I say, okay, I can do without this until next week. And I could give it to that person.
That's right.
I'm not big on going out there and telling people what I do.
Exactly.
But, I do a lot. I help people, kids that used to go to school. I buy the books back, and this is a long time before school. And if they did good, I'll promise them a Nintendo or, whatever it was. And if they did good in school, I kept my promise and I gave that to the kids. I had nothing to achieve from these kids because the parents is poor, but I'm so proud to see so many of them has come out and they have excelled. I have my business, and for 20 odd years, those little kids used to come in. They couldn't afford to buy a phone. And my staff one day heard them telling, every time you want to come and get the most expensive phone and look on it. I said, let him look on it. I know his mama is. If he run off with it, I'm going to go down there and look for his mama. Make him look on the phone. One day you'll be able, honey, to afford the phone.
Yes.
You know how many of them has come back and bought phones from me? I never had one young lady that was upset with me, but today she's probably not because she have kids. Every time she got paid, she came and bought the most expensive phone, and the next one it was out. She had no kids and working, and our parents, I guess, not pressure. And I said to her one day when one of the new phones came out, I said, honey, I love to collect money, but I know where you're coming from. I know your parents didn't have it. And now that you're working, you need to save. You need to get a house.
Hallelujah. Yes.
And I said, I don't feel like selling you this phone, but I know you're going to go somewhere else and buy the phone. But I'm giving you advice to stop buying every phone that come out. You don't need every new phone. And, she could see like she wasn't very happy with me because she's been buying from me. And I said, I'm only telling you for my own use as a Caymanian, that one day you could look on me, you might not be happy now and say, that woman there taught me that was stupidity what I was doing. I see her, she got a child now. She never said to me, well, thank you, Miss Joyce. But I'm sure she have thought about that and said, that woman tell me not to buy expensive phones. I had one expensive one. It wasn't old. Nothing was wrong with it. And, this is what we have to do.
Yes.
It's not always just about money. And anytime that we understand that, yes, we need money. Yes, we want money. But we got our young ones that we need to guide, because sometimes the parents don't know they can buy a new phone. You understand me? They don't even know. Sometimes you think the parents, but the parents don't. So sometimes we accuse parents, oh, that child like that, because the mother and the father. Sometimes we don't know what kids do. Family, we don't know.
Yeah.
So I think for us, we need to pay attention to all the children, because that's why we got these little ones running around swearing that there's Clint Eastwood and shooting and firing. Because sometimes if we see it, we need to speak to them. If we don't speak to their parents, you know, and I just really want us to work together as a little island. Oh my God, there's not many of us. Let us work together, embrace each other. Even those that are not born there and they help us grow our conscious, we need to embrace those people also, because some of those are good people. I know quite a bit that love that island more than me that was born there and they never born there. But because they appreciate what it did for them, where they are, what they have achieved. I got some friends that when you hear them talk, okay, man, I tell them it's not heaven, but you know, it's close to. You understand? So we got to appreciate people.
Absolutely.
And
Thank
let
you
us
so
just
much.
pray for Island. Okay, sweetheart.
Thank you so much. So,
You're welcome.
yes, I agree with everything that caller has said. This parent says parents need to start from young. I have savers accounts for all 3 of my kids at CNB. And of course, that's great. Listen, even before you have them, start saving for them because you're going to need it. I think it was Debbie that says, is it Debbie? That said, you know, raising children, giving them what they need. Yes, Debbie says giving a child what they need and not want is expensive. And let's be honest, Debbie, it even goes above and beyond that because children need life experiences, right? Not in the same way, obviously, that they need food and clothes. I mean, those are basic needs, right? But you should not be having a child and thinking to yourself, oh, I'm only ever going to be able to meet their basic needs. I'm only going to scrape by being able to feed them, maybe nutritionally, maybe not, and maybe being able to clothe them, and that my child will never be able to take a little trip and, you know, go to summer camp and all these types of things. That's not the lifestyle that you should be aiming for when it comes for your children. This is why I always try to have this conversation, especially with young women, because it is ultimately your body and your decisions to make. Don't let anybody pressure you into having children that you're not prepared for, into being a mother if you're not prepared for that journey. And part of the preparation for that journey is emotional and psychological preparation, a degree of maturity, but also your pocketbook, because that's going to take quite a significant hit as well when you have children and you want to give them a certain quality of life, right? I don't want my daughter to experience what I went through, where she's in university and having to wonder where the next meal is coming from. Although, to be honest, you know, there's something to be said for those experiences because it can shape you. The hardships in life can shape you into a particular type of person, but you can still be a great person without having to have all of those hardships. But you know what they say, comes out of the rough is a diamond, right? You don't get a pearl just so. It's, you know, it takes agitation and sometimes some tough times to be able to get there. So again, thank you, Miss Joyce Ann, for those encouraging words. And we need to teach our young people fiscal management and how to make better decisions for themselves as well. So that's all part of it. And, you know, one of the young men in particular, I don't really know much about the second young man, I'll be honest, but, you know, we're going to help them all with these donations. One of the young men, I know that his parents are making the necessary sacrifice. They already have a daughter who just graduated last week from medical school, from university. And these are not parents with no pile of money or anything. They're doing whatever they can to really help their children and to prioritize, like, this is your goal. You want to be a doctor. You want to do this. You want to do that. We're going to do everything as parents possible to make the necessary sacrifices to give our children those opportunities. So good morning to Miss Dean. Marilyn Phillips, where you coming with this account? You're blocked on Facebook or what? Says, I always said that's one of the best reasons not to drink or smoke, the high cost of it, health-wise and financially. I see a pack of cigarettes for $8. No, sir. Yeah, especially when you know it's killing you at the same time. Marilyn, I don't normally see you on YouTube. It's good to see you. Morning to Natasha. I see a number of you sending me some videos and stuff. So let's talk about a few other topical things, and then I want to touch on the port as well. So yesterday we briefly, and again, keep sending in your donations, pass it along. I'm just waiting on the account number to be sent to me. But yesterday we mentioned this story about the food truck in Jamaica, in New York, sorry. And it's a Jamaican food truck. Now, Jamaicans are all over the world, honey child, in every nook and cranny. I do not believe that there's any country in the world where you could go and not find a Jamaican there, because they travel all over. They're all over the Caribbean, all over the European countries, like everywhere, well represented. But honey child, sometimes the representation that they're putting out there is making all good and hardworking Jamaicans really look bad. So this food truck now was in the business of drug peddling and so on. I think I showed you guys this picture yesterday. Look at this. A food truck, the police called it Operation Hot Lunch. But look at this. Guns and ammunitions in the styrofoam food containers. That's what these people are up to. All right, watch this video. Shocking.
Food truck in Orange County, New York, apparently selling a whole lot more than just meals inside.
Take a look at the drugs and the guns that police say were hidden in takeout containers. 30 people were busted. Cops say the ring made millions selling narcotics and weapons out of the supposed food truck parked in downtown Newburgh.
Investigators say they busted one of the largest drug operations in the history of Orange County. Here's Eyewitness News reporter Marcus Solis.
The lot across the street from Newburgh City Court is the spot for food trucks, but one regular is missing. The Real Spice truck has been relocated to the Orange County Sheriff's Office, not to serve up Jamaican food. It's been seized because of other items that were for sale.
It sold food, it sold guns, and it sold cocaine. And Mr. Salmon was the epicenter of that.
That would be 42-year-old Kirkland Salmon, one of 30 people arrested in what's considered the largest gun trafficking and drug bust in Orange County. Named Operation Hot Lunch, investigators spent 6 months purchasing illegal guns, firearms that were often packaged in food containers. The guns were brought up from North Carolina, the drugs from Florida. Officials say what set this enterprise apart was the level of complexity, a 4-tiered system, sophistication that had never been seen before.
The money of this organization moved around with ease. It was invested into real estate, property, and crypto, in properties in Orange County and other things.
Prosecutors say a barbershop served as a stash house for some of the proceeds, estimated to be over $3 million a year. Nearly 40 different law enforcement agencies took part in the investigation, including the ATF and the NYPD, which had some of its undercover officers make purchases.
Fighting crime knows no bounds, whether it's Brooklyn, Buffalo, or anywhere in between. If you're trafficking illegal guns and drugs, we will bring you to justice.
Some of the suspects face up to 25 years in prison. In Newburgh, Marcus Solis, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Wow, what a hot mess. Over $3 million per annum in illegal drugs and gun running from a food truck. And again, the location right across from the courthouse. Jeez, I mean, talk about operating in plain sight. 30 people arrested, seized kilos of cocaine as well as fentanyl. This all went down on May the 21st after 6 months in-depth investigation. Like they said, they were buying guns and trying to see how this operation worked. The food truck has been impounded, obviously. And among those that they're arrested, as you can see, the long list of people, they say is 42-year-old Kirkland Salmon, who owned and operated the food truck. Wow. I don't know what to say, but this was quite the operation. I mean, the boldness of it all is just absolutely shocking. Well, they're going to be spending some time now in a jailhouse, no doubt. They're probably, as it says, some of them looking upwards of 40 25 years in prison. Wow, sophisticated, getting in the real estate business, crypto business, and all sorts of other stuff as well. What a mess. Anyway, I guess it's important for the authorities to, break up, smuggling operations like this, because as they said, multi-state situation here. Drugs coming from Florida, guns coming from North Carolina, all over the place, honey child. And that's exactly what was going on here. I tell you, what a mess. Can't make it up. Food truck business. It's just shocking. All right. Well, that was one bit of a shocking and surprising news. Somebody else said about the last name, because, the guy that we have here with the fentanyl, his last name is also the same, but I don't think they're related in any way. I guess Salmon might just be a common name. I mean, I haven't really heard too many Salmons come out of Jamaica, to be honest, but I guess. So we have Dorman Salmon, who is in court with Renee Hamilton here in the Cayman Islands. This is the couple with the fentanyl case using FedEx to allegedly bring in drugs as well. So who knows? Who knows? All right. Other regional news this morning. You guys might have seen this story posted on CMR this morning already. There was an unfortunate situation in Honduras where several people who were connected to Cayman, like some of them had worked here and so forth, were involved in a deadly dispute back home in Honduras, resulting in the death of at least 2 Honduran men. One was said to have left Cayman just on Friday of last week to visit Guanaja, Honduras, and they were part of a dispute which left the 2 men dead and 1 hospitalized on Monday night. One of the men who traveled from Cayman as a victim. The other one is believed to have carried out the attack. So we have Isaac Bennett and his son, Reynold Bennett. And this is a bit of a developing story. Now, some of you have reached out to me this morning. This person said yesterday in Banaka, 3 murder. The same local people they said were coming from Cayman only went to kill. He's from the island as well. They kill a woman, a father, and a son. But my latest sources this morning have actually said that the woman is actually, luckily for her, still alive. She managed to have survived this carnage. And I can tell you, some people sent me the videos. I've not watched them as yet because they look pretty gruesome. But, these are the things that coming out of some of their neighboring islands. Very, very tragic situation. So we'll update that story as we know more about it. Pretty sad situation. Wow. Good morning, caller.
Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, Sandra. How are you this morning?
Not bad, dear. How are you?
So I caught like 1-2 little parts of your live talking about the Ramon kid, but I would like to ask a question.
Sure.
Why are the mother and father looking contribution for the child to go to school when the father living a very luxurious lifestyle, renting Mercedes-Benz, etc. from Avis every other weekend? Other than that, he hosts a lot of these concerts and shows that be around here.
What I would say is, I think that I can't speak to that, but I think that you might think he's hosting stuff when he's probably just helping to promote it and attending the events.
But you should be paid if you're doing anything like that too.
Not necessarily, but I would say, I didn't actually call any names this morning, so
no. But when I saw the child name, everybody know who that is.
Yeah, but what I would say is you probably don't have the full picture, because I know a little bit more about this individual and this family and this situation. And like I said earlier, I know that they have a daughter who just finished medical school, and they were making a lot of sacrifices in order to put her through medical school. So I don't know anything about this person living any kind of flossy lifestyle or anything of the sort. I'm not sure why he'd be renting cars when he actually has a car of his own that he
That's
drives.
the thing.
But
This is what I'm telling you. So I work for Avis, and this weekend he just returned the GLS Benz, and it had an Indigo ballet parking ticket in there. So that just shows you, that speaks for itself.
Well,
But other than that,
it doesn't necessarily speak for itself, because we know, for example, this weekend was an event, multiple events going on, and you know that this person works for a company that sponsors a lot of events. So I don't think that car was being rented for his personal use. Their company sponsors events, so we had that concert that was happening this weekend. So that could have been.
He wasn't involved. I mean, I know he did a promotion for that, but that was Renegade this weekend.
No, but I'm saying he might have been assisting with, because in fact, I know for a fact that he was, because he's getting me some footage from those guys. I know for a fact that he was actually helping some of the support team for the artists that were here, and he was helping.
Yeah, because he good at what he do.
So I mean, again, I doubt that was him renting a car for himself to drive around in. So I think we got to just make sure that we can't always look at somebody's what appears to be happening on the outside and assume that is any sort of representation of the facts or what's really going on with them.
And other than that, right, what's going on with awareness to this bullying in these schools? Because I had to go to John Gray this morning. Some year 11s on the bus licking my son in his head yesterday, and the bus warden, she gonna tell my child to face forward instead of seeing who is licking him. And I'm saying to the school, well, why didn't the bus warden say something to these kids or whatever the case be? I said, this is why children are killing themselves. They're afraid to come home and tell their parents because they know the parents can come to school, and sometimes it makes the situation worse than what it already is. But something needs to be done about this. The government, they're paying attention to too much of the wrong things.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, obviously, bullying is something that needs to be severely addressed in all schools, to be honest. All right, caller. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All righty. All right. 936-2626 is the telephone number. Feel free to call in. It's interesting because I think a lot of times people don't know the sacrifices that people are making. I'm not trying to put people's business out there, but I can tell you that I do know more about this individual and the things that they're doing, like the right things to make sure that their family, their kids have a roof over their head. They're working hard. They're working overtime at their jobs. So a lot of times you see them at these events. It's not necessarily that they might want to be there. It's like, okay, they're there because if they work extra events or they do extra sales on the side with their company and even external organizations, they can make more money. So, they have a little side hustle, a little side business. People are out there working, trying to do and make all of these sacrifices. But I also know that these are people who are dedicated to keeping a place over their head and doing the right thing. And, at times when it's difficult to get mortgage payments in or whatever, they're going to call the bank, they're going to work with the bank, and they're going to maintain their obligations. So just because someone is coming and renting a car, especially when they're in the entertainment business, whatever, don't assume that the rental is for them. Because I know that this guy has no reason to rent a car for himself. But if he is involved in, I don't know all the details of Renegade's event this weekend, but if he was involved, and I know that he was involved at some level in escorting those people around, working with them or whatever, in their contract, when these guys perform, whether it's Fat Joe, we'll talk about him here in a brief second, they have a certain expectation of a certain type of vehicle. That when they come to the Cayman Islands, you're not going to be driving them around in no Honda Fit. I'm just saying that ain't going to happen. They want a proper escort, and it's got to be of a particular size. So I don't know what, Renegade's arrangement was. Like I said, I know that the father was involved somehow in the event, and he had access to like Neo's people and that sort of stuff. So he's probably doing quite a bit behind the scenes. Wayne says, yep, you can't assume, but just saying. And Miss Elaine says, you're too blasted nosy, get the facts and stop watching the people them. Ingrid says, Honduras people killing their own people, unfortunately, all the time. So the father has just responded, and he said, oh, yes, you mean the one that the out of this world organizers rented for the artists. See what I'm telling you? I figured as much. So again, don't always jump to conclusions and assume, especially when you don't really know what's going on. So he's not renting it in his own personal capacity. Like I said, I've seen him driving his dadmobile. You know, they have a family vehicle and that's what they drive. Yeah. So someone says, OMG, get her off the phone. WTF is wrong with these bad mind people. I don't know who the parents are, but that caller is just wrong for that. What a mess. All right. So that made logical sense that it's for the artists and their entourage. Lucille, good morning, says, have mercy, God. The children is not responsible. God bless. No one works in the Cayman Islands for free, and much more for artists. They must get paid a little something. I mean, I don't know. Y'all will have to ask Renegade what the arrangement was. You know, these people are involved in the music industry. So sometimes it's not about working for money. It's about trying to have the connections. Like you want to meet these people because then that could even further some of the other ventures and stuff that you're involved in that you're doing. I mean, like I said, I don't have all the details of how these people are interconnected when they put on an event, right? And she was saying that he wasn't involved. What a mess, says this person. I figured that out even without knowing him / the family. Ay. What a hot mess. But like I said, I know for a fact that, you know, this is a family that has demonstrated that they're committed to making sacrifices for their kids. And a lot of us could really take a page out of that playbook. Okay. So, yes, our condolences to the families of those people in Honduras. I don't know what the argument was about or what the mix-up is, but it sounds like a bit of a hot mess of a situation. Let's talk about the port, shall we? What a hot mess. Port Authority had a fire last week, Thursday, of one of their equipment, one of their machines. Certainly not the first time, and I guess it's not going to be the last time that we're going to be talking about the port yet again. I'm a bit tired of talking about the port, and you know, I made a suggestion well over a year ago, quite frankly, that the port is that the board be reconstitutionalized. Like, in other words, you get rid of this board and you try a new board, see if you can't get any better results. You know, it's just horrible. They've had so many accidents, injuries. Was it a couple of months ago? A guy had a foot injury, might have lost his leg. I don't know what the final outcome of that was. Broken equipment is a constant state of affairs at the port. The safety of managers being, this parent says, I'm so lost on what happened. Oh, Lord, have mercy. What a hot mess. You know, sometimes a situation gets derailed very, very quickly. All right. So, the latest fire happened on Thursday, we understand. The guys are running around trying to put out this fire with, you know, obviously fire extinguishers. There have been criticisms that the hydraulic fluid was all over the dock, including the area where the taxis park. And one safety conscious observer noted that it should have been obvious to the operator that the oil was getting in the hot exhaust of that vehicle. And this left them to opine as to why they would have continued to run the equipment until it actually ignited. It was like a real fire, you know, I saw, let's just say that I have seen evidence of the fire itself, and it was blazing, honey chow. So creating, you know, thankfully it was not a life-threatening situation in this instance, But again, yet another example of things going on at the port that really makes you wonder. It's just crazy. On top of all the reports that we've had, they're saying the safety manager has been criticized for not doing his job properly, not having staff properly trained and certified in CPR, first aid, and AED. They have to do their certification every 2 years. The last training occurred in March of 2021. And according to an FOI, which we were privy to, the port has not ensured that their staff have gotten the necessary 2-year recertification. And, this could be a matter of life and death to make sure that your staff, especially in that type of an environment, are properly certified. Another criticism of the safety manager is that he actually got certified to be a trainer. And yet when it comes time to training his staff, he still outsources that to someone else at the expense of the port. And they're thinking, well, what was the point of the port paying for him to actually become a certified trainer if he will then be outsourcing it? Safety and procedure manuals and SOPs, woefully outdated and not given proper priority. Oil spill equipment provided by the UK remains unused because staff lack the necessary competences to use it. So again, they haven't been trained on how to use that equipment. Required ongoing oil spill training and drills have not occurred in years. And the safety manager is said to be responsible for all of those things. On top of that, the fleet manager now, who is said to be responsible for the upkeep of the equipment at the port and sometimes the ordering of new equipment, despite being in the position for over a year, continues to not handle equipment maintenance properly, causing downtime and potential staff injuries. We've reported in the past that equipment is aged beyond its life cycle. It is it reached its end of life some time ago. Rusted equipment, pieces of equipment constantly breaking down, the cranes breaking down, the oh gosh, I don't know a technical term for all these pieces of equipment, but these things are constantly breaking down, and it's not a good situation because faulty equipment or equipment that's breaking down is causing a potential health hazard for the staff that then have to work with those materials. So again, rusted exterior buildings that are rusted, ensuring wear and tear beyond what some say should be acceptable. The rubber tire gantry crane, which is used to handle the containers at the CDC, along with 2 large container handling machines, are at the port. One of those is a head handler, and the other one is a large blade forklift. Sources reveal that there's been some postponement of the changing out of a part on the 4100 crane that would see the crane inoperable for a couple days while they do that. Neglected to change a set of tracks on the M250 crane. One set was changed years ago, and they were scheduled to do the other set, but never did. So, these things, if you don't know anything about the port, this sounds perhaps a bit technical, all this equipment, but the bottom line is this. If the port continues to operate at this level, where we have, just, oh my gosh, so many issues. We've got the accounts guy who's now been promoted to financial comptroller or whatever, vying to become the next port director, and board members making really, really poor decisions based on that. SOPs not being updated for years. Finance department hasn't completed their SOPs for their department and processes, yet he wants to actually run the port. It's disastrous. It's one of those organizations that has a lot going on that should be making us collectively shake our head. And when you think about the importance of what our port does, believe me when I tell you, this is really going to come back to bite the people of the Cayman Islands in the rear end. So, we have equipment that was ordered, these PACI Tico trucks. And we ordered them with Tier 3 and not Tier 4 motors. All new vehicles need Tier 4 motors to operate in the US. In addition to that, Cayman had them governed to only to do 35 miles per hour, and that's below the minimum speed of many US highways. Other than that, these trucks comply with all road codes. They're inspected and licensed by the CI licensing department of the Cayman Islands. So, people just like staff are sometimes not paying attention. This oil spill, this fire, now that's another piece of equipment that's, going to be expensive to repair, out of commission. And the list just goes on and on and on of the failures of the port. So I have to really ask the question, at what point are we going to hold people responsible, the board in particular, but even we have a director now of the port. He said he wasn't going to stay there very long. They kind of pulled him out of retirement. I'm not so sure he really wanted the job, but he told them he'll give them a year or two or whatever, and they need to find somebody else. Of course, they've started no real recruitment efforts to be able to do that. But, folks, the port is just a hot mess. It really is. I don't know. And then I heard this morning that some of the port guys are talking about suing the port again over unpaid overtime based on some new shift that was put together. Okay. A guy was fired for attempting to pull a work stoppage at the port, was then rehired by the port, and then he went to jail. Now he's back at the port again as crane or heavy equipment operator. And my understanding is that, he was not, the position was not even advertised for that job. And here's what he was disqualified, what he was in jail for: uninsured and disqualified driver sentenced to 18 months in jail. And now he is the heavy equipment operator. Wow. So he went to court after numerous disqualification offenses, driving whilst being disqualified and driving without insurance. And despite that, he drove anyway. So he was disqualified for an additional 24 months and also sentenced to 6 months in prison. Because he had a previous suspended 12-month sentence on another matter, that suspended sentence would now be activated and run consecutively. And this is back in 2023. So he was sentenced to 18 months. Now, yes, we say hire our people, but my goodness, of all the things that you're going to hire them back to do, I wouldn't think driving at the port might be one of them, given his track record, but there you have it. And there have been a lot of other complaints levied against the port. Long list of FOI complaints. So here's one where this person said, I was at a merchant's business in Georgetown when a customer came looking for a piece of equipment, and I heard the merchant apologize for not having it available, saying it's in a container at CDC. But the port informed them that they couldn't load the container to the truck. My apologies, as their RTG had been broken down again. So, I don't know. And then it goes on to say, I'm told that the only person who had been trained to carry out this basic service on the RTGs has been moved to another position. And if that is so, it means that these machines are not being serviced the way that they should, as there is likely no one who has the training and skills to do so. It is also clear that the board is clueless, as clueless can be. The port delivers approximately 110 containers per day to customers via the 2 RTGs. And if one breaks down, that amount is severely reduced, as one RTG then has to move between 2 lanes. It's been in the plan to acquire 2 more RTGs but in the past 3 years, nothing has been acquired. Well, the person said, well, I wouldn't say nothing has been acquired. They acquired an operational loss of $1.3 million in 2022 while not purchasing one single piece of cargo equipment. How they hold their heads up in public, I don't know. And the ministers proudly stood by them and their lack of accomplishments all the way. It is shocking. It is absolutely shocking what continues to happen at the port. And I'm sure that this is the minister's Achilles heel. I don't really know. I mean, my recommendation from early on was you need a new board, and a board that is not afraid of making good decisions, and a board that is not driven by political agendas or personal agendas or anything else of the sort, but really focused on trying to make the port as operational, as efficiently operational as possible, while looking at the safety being the top concern for the people that work there. Because I can assure you that the safety of our workers continues to be unfortunately compromised at the port. I don't know what else to say about the situation, folks. I've spoken about the port so many times already that I feel like I'm turning blue in the face on this topic, and the needle has not been moved and nothing is being done. So this person makes the following observation that, oh, he's still disqualified from driving? So how is he driving port equipment? You gotta be kidding me. So this is the guy that I was just telling you about that went to jail for being disqualified already and kept pushing the envelope. He's still disqualified. And the port has a policy that you have to have a current holder of a Group 4 license to operate his equipment. And so they're breaching their policy if he's operating his equipment. I wonder how that impacts its insurance policies. Lord Jesus, take the wheel. Oh my God. Port. What a hot mess. Ay. Let's move on. We'll chase that up because that's obviously very, very concerning. And again, these are the types of things, folks, that, you shouldn't, come on, board members at the port. What are y'all doing? Well, what are y'all doing? That the minister has got to he's got to take control of the situation. I mean, this is ridiculous. My God. Let's move on to the other ridiculous thing that this UPM government seems hell-bent on, which is building this $50 million school in Cayman Brac at all costs, which like I've said, it's going to eventually be upwards of $100 million, if not more, by the time it's all said and done. And so last week we released a story, and I hope that you guys are paying attention to this, where basically the premier has indicated that in order to build a school, she needs to build accommodations for the people who are going to be building the school. Say what? Excuse me. What did you just say? Oh, yeah. Yes, honey chill. So housing for construction workers. Well, I left a little bit speechless, I got to be honest with you, when I saw the story, because I was scratching my head going, what? So we're going to bill $8-point-something million they claim. Now, you and I both know that's conservative, and that's going to go probably over $10-15 million, 10-15 million by the time it's all said and done. And somehow this makes sense to our political arm. Good morning, caller. Yes, but I'm actually on air at the moment. So can I get you to call me after 10:30? Okay, thanks very much. All right, folks. Yes, honey child. $8-point-something million. Hold on, let me just pull up the article. So this is the Brac High School, the new $50 million high school. apparently there's not enough people or not enough spaces on the Brac to house the construction workers. So they're going to build purpose-built housing for the construction workers for the school. Have it make sense. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sunday.
Can you help me make sense of this?
Oh my God, this is so laughable.
I mean, if it wasn't our money, it would be laughable, but it's our money.
Planning? They're building a police barracks.
Jesus.
That's why it like a military barracks.
Oh my God.
For these workers. What kind of resale value does this building have when when the school is built? If they're going to build this, put it in apartments or put it in singular homes where they can sell these properties.
I mean, there's lots of empty homes on the Cayman Brac because a lot of people have seasonal homes and stuff. You mean to tell me you can't find housing on the Brac? And somebody said, well, that obviously means that there will be no local workers who are actually doing the work. I guess they already have their own homes. But I mean, how many people are we looking to bring in to build this Brac school?
It never ceased to amaze me why government will continue to waste money. Like you said, it's going to cost them it's supposed to be 8 point something million.
Yeah, that'll be 15, 20 by the time they're done.
I don't have a good education. I got 4.5 years of elementary education, but common sense is not common anymore. But the thing that really bothers me, what are they going to do with this building after this is, because all they're going to be done is crackheads going in there and making a home for themselves. You know, there need to be some thought go into what government, because she gets $150 million handed to her. It's unfortunate that she will spend all of this money, irrespective of what the benefits of it.
I don't know, honey. I mean, it's baffling me. I'm going to be honest with you. I again, there's been no business case that we have seen for the Brac school. Remember, the government has refused to release that. And I think that anybody with a little bit of foresight should be asking yourselves the question of why. If that school is needed, if a $50 million school is needed, the business case would support that. The fact that the premier has not released the business case tells you that it's not needed.
You know, Sandy, why don't you take with these two young men that is struggling to find finances to go to this institution, which would benefit the Cayman Islands, because I'm proud of kids like that want to make something of themselves, and that speaks volume of the parents. You know, a big shout out to those parents, because let me tell you something. It's not easy sending people, your children off to universities, and then you got two more that goes up there. They're probably just struggling, but it shows that if you have the discipline, you can go a long way with life.
Yes.
And more than what Julie has, because she has no discipline at all. She see it coming in. She see that money coming in. It not been a sweat off her brow that she's going to spend it anywhere she feel like spending it, without any accountability. Until we have accountability in this country, without fear or favor or apologies, it's not going to get any better. And next election, we'll have the same thing going on. We'll be talking about 4 years from the next election, and it's sad. Why doesn't she come on board and say, listen, we will give the government, we'll give these two boys a scholarship. But you know how often she does that? Oh my God, it really bothers me when, like I said, I'm not the most smartest kid in the block, but when you got good common sense, it makes a big difference. But
Thank you.
Sandy, what are they going? From the design that I've seen there, I'm not an architect, but it's a military barracks.
I
And
don't even
how
know.
do they expect to resell that? Because you just don't want to keep that building there 8, 9, 10, 12 million dollars. And that building will just start to decay. If you can't, if
Somebody
you want
said to
this
please
school,
give this caller kaboom.
it's unfortunate that people don't think before they spend money, but she don't realize that she's not
Well, that's
spending
because
her money.
it's our money. So I suspect
It's
that they
her
don't
money.
care too much. Yeah.
It's I again, I must congratulate you for what you're doing for this country. You're doing a hell of a lot more than so many politicians are doing. Because if it wasn't because of you, we wouldn't know what is going on in this country. And don't let any of them frighten you. I don't think that's going to happen. But my thanks to you that you have brought all of this to the forefront. People may not like you because you're outspoken, but I prefer to know that you are there in the forefront doing what so many other people should be doing.
Thank you, my dear. I appreciate it.
Okay, Sandy.
All right. So yes, I mean it's I don't understand it. The design of it even, is questionable at best. I mean, if the idea is to resell this, I think you need to pick something that is resellable, even from a design perspective. But let's have a look at, again, what government is proposing. Somebody sat down and had a business case for this. It almost looks kind of like a church in a way, which wouldn't surprise me that she'd find this design appealing. But the government has said that their construction accommodation block in Brac, which will provide 38 suites to facilitate long-term overnight stays for developers and construction teams involved in the new high school and gym projects, as well as future government initiatives. Ministry of District Administration and Lands, which falls under the Premier, announced the commencement of construction of the $8.5 million CYB accommodation block set to be completed by November of 2024. What? November 2024? Aren't we in June of 2024? They must have met 2025. But, the rush is on to try to get stuff done before the next election. Wow, really? This is what? Okay. So she said she's going to throw these up real fast. The ministry told a local media outlet that the block will be built at no direct cost to the contractor, and the cost for workers' accommodations was not included in the contract to build the school. Construction of the school is expected to cost $50 million. No, sir. According to a release issued by the Department of Communication, the accommodation block will also serve visiting school and sports teams, fostering the growth of sports and events tourism on the island. What y'all need to foster is our young people trying to expand their horizons with being able to go abroad to a sports program. That's how you expand them. I'm sorry, but Brac, not really the sports capital of anything. Anyway. The Premier and Minister of Lands, the Honorable Juliana O'Connor Connolly, hosted a groundbreaking ceremony at the development site. In her address, she emphasized the project's alignment with the government's strategic priorities. Wait a minute. Y'all didn't tell me that government strategic priorities, including wasting the people's money. When did that become a priority? Well, that's what's happening, in my humble opinion. She says by removing the obstacle of accommodation for future construction teams, what kind of construction is happening on the Brac that y'all need this. Now, you know them Brackers, I mean, I'm not speaking for them because I'm not a Bracker, but if you go and read the comments, they're not in favor of this. They're like, what future development? Did we tell you that we want you to turn Cayman Brac into Grand Cayman, where you have so much construction going on? You don't know whether you're coming, going, turning around, or fro and toe? I mean, come on now, honey child. This is ridiculous. Let's try to keep, I mean, yes, we're going to have some development, but let's try to keep the Brac at a very different pace. Oh my gosh, talking about historically, it's been a deterrent to developers. Development in Cayman Brac will be encouraged in a manageable way. Manageable my backside. I mean, I don't have to tell y'all that ain't going to happen. That's what they tell you now until it gets out of control. Good morning, caller. Manageable development in Cayman Brac, they say. Yes.
Good morning, Sandra. How are you
Morning,
doing?
dear. How are you?
I'm good. This is me. I from Cayman Brac.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to call and tell you I'm shake your hand for what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
This monopoly that she's pulling on Cayman Brackers, I hope, and I don't think much Cayman Brackers listening to this show, but I hope that of what she is trying to pull over the people to make her look important because of election time. Cayman Brac do not need this pile of rubbish. We need a school, but we don't need a school of that magnitude.
Exactly.
Of 46 to 56 million dollars. And the people need to wake up. I am so disappointed this morning to hear you asking for donations for 2 kids. And the hell, every politician should have came on your show and say they put in $1 or $2 to help these young people. But yet, when they have these education events, she is one of the first, and the rest of them is the first one jumps up there about scholarships. But who they give scholarships to? They give scholarships to the special children in the school and make the rest of them feel like they're nothing. This is just a monopoly game that she's playing here on the Brac, because we use that same existing building that you see in the background. I worked on that for 3 years. And that building was one of the most pristine buildings you wanted to walk in and see.
This is the one that nobody ever uses, right? That they
never
don't
use.
Yeah.
Never use.
And the AC is kept at 60 degrees, and the pool now has so much algae growing in it.
Yes, and call it her building. And that was designed so beautiful to see what was designed for. And when to change it and put a stupid basketball court inside it. It has no seating. You can't sit down inside because the court is from wall to wall. And that is what they talk about, a multi-purpose building. These things that she's crops up in her mind to build affordable homes for Cayman Brackers. Tell me something, Sandra. Cayman Brackers doesn't have no jobs. How they gonna afford affordable homes? Is what I want to ask the people. If they cannot afford to go to the store to buy a gallon of milk for $12, how they can afford a $1,200 bank loan? And these are the things that she's blinding people with, putting these things in place. It needs to stop. Cayman Brac people need to wake up. We do not need this pile of rubbish on our ground, and they need to stop it. And I hope the people wake up this go around, because there's no possible way that she can put that up there for the month of November. It's just a
I mean, she must know something that we don't know.
But I can tell you what, I work construction all my life, pretty much all my life. Especially, I was there from 1984 working construction till 1990 when I joined the fire department. And when I came out in 2009 from the fire department, I went right back into construction. And I have never seen a building of that magnitude built in 4 months, unless they got the whole United States Army coming out to help build. But all of this rubbish that she tries to manipulate people's minds, and Judah is not calling her by name or nothing, but these kind of people get in people's minds and make them think that things can happen overnight. It cannot happen overnight. Like what the opposition had told the member of the government side, if you think that you can go and build something that took us 4 to 5 years. I think it was the former premier, Mr. McLaughlin, and he told him, he said, he been there a long time and you can't build nothing overnight. She needs to stop making people think that these things can happen overnight. Because Kim and Brad doesn't need what she got planned there because we do not have the amount of students. And I hope that the people wake up and realize the rubbish that she's trying to put in the people's head. Because we, as Kim and Brackers, we cannot sit down like fools anymore. We have to wake up and see that we are being used just for popularity of election. We cannot afford that anymore. We cannot afford that anymore. And we need it to stop. And I hope that people wake up.
Thank you so much, caller.
Thank you, Sandra.
Yes, my dear. 936-2626. What a mess. What a mess. I don't know what to say. Wow. I don't know. I'm left speechless. I legitimately am left speechless about what's going on here. It doesn't make any sense. Well, they did a nice cushy video. Let's watch the video. Land area, often part, acres. Again, we've got an unused structure there. We're going to have two buildings, one both over 5,300 square feet, totaling 10,685 square feet. So this is what they're proposing for Human Brac. Suite details, 38 suites with ensuite bathrooms, 30-card access doors. You mean to tell me you can't work out something with local hotels? I mean, let's try business and innovation on Human Brac. There are hotels there who have little to no occupancy during certain times of the year. Surely you could talk to them about setting aside some facilities for people to be able to share. I don't understand this. Nothing about this project makes any sense. Like the caller rightfully said, there is a structure there in Cayman Brac that nobody, for years, people have been asking me, what is this structure for? What is it built for? It sits there with the air conditioning down to 60 degrees. The pool and the grounds are not being properly maintained, deteriorating, and the Bracs are getting no use of it. Get some cots and put them people there. We don't need to make their stay in Cayman Brac so luxurious and so comfy that they don't want to leave. You know? So so what next? What else are we going to find money to just spend on in Cayman Brac? Folks, this is all about politics. The premier had said, we have the footage, that she was not running again. She's not technically come forward and said that she's running, but I can tell you, as someone who has my ears down to the ground, of course she's running. And she's going to tell you all that she's running because the country needs her, Cayman Brac needs her, and it's divine intervention. God told her to run, and that's why she's running. My sources have said to me that her and Moses Kirkernel are going to be working together, and they're going to be doing some sort of a collaboration and having their own little team there in Cayman Brac. So neither one of them will be coming out of office after like 30 years. Talk about a monopoly and a stronghold on the Brac. Look at your MPs. Why do they get to have monopoly jobs and never get out of public office? Now, to be fair, There is an issue and a concern of viable candidates. Who is going to run? So this week, probably on Friday's show, we're going to be talking about some of the candidates who are coming forward and putting out their flyers and prospectus and whatever else. Let me just say that I've not really seen any of them yet that I would give a vote to. Sorry, but not sorry. So if we continue to have lackluster candidates who are not ready at all, of course, what is in there now is going to get reelected. We need the people to come forward. It's basically less than a year away from election. What is taking you all so long? Make your declarations. The people need time to get to know who you are, what you stand for, and how you're going to be helping the people of the Cayman Islands. Leanna says, come down 10:30. We don't have much time today, Leanna, because I got other work to do. But what I'm saying is, this is absolutely ridiculous. Now I hear of another group that's putting some people together, but we need to know exactly who. There's too many, because, some in there now hedging their bets. They're political. We've disconnected from the radio now, so I can tell you all this. They're political whores. They're going to sell themselves out, and by extension, you, the people, out to the highest bidder. They're not principled individuals. So they're promising one group, they're going to work with them. Oh, give me some money, I'm going to work with you. They're promising another group, give me some money, I'm going to work with you. We need to know. If you are planning to throw your hat into the electoral ring for this coming election, you cannot wait 1 month before an election and step forward and think that we, the people, are going to be sold on you. We got to take our time to get to know you as a candidate, to know on principle where you stand in some of these things. You cannot be supporting the wastage of the people's money. $50 million on a school, which is going to go up to near $100 million, plus another 10 to 15 million on accommodation for those workers. You already see how the project is expanding. Good morning, caller.
Morning, Aunt Sandra. Calling back again. Yes, we have to load up the NPs, call them out, take accountability on their actions, call them out, because this is disgusting now.
Can you believe that every single one of them would have sat down? This is why they had to get rid of Wayne Panton. Every single one of them would have sat down and approved a $50 million budget for the school. Now they're sitting down and approving another 8 point something, rounded up to $9 million. And you know it's going to go over into overrun for accommodations for the construction workers.
And not what that excuse for not give scholarship to the youths there, the ones that struggling try and get job after they come out to school and try and go into college, a better education themselves.
I don't know what the excuse is, but I'm saying that this doesn't make any sense. Fiscally, this is not good management of our money. Talking about future-proof the Brac. Future-proof the Brac by simply educating your people and creating small business opportunities for people right there in Cayman Brac. The people who want to return home. And there are some Cayman Brackers who want to be able to return to Cayman Brac. Right? How is this accommodation? What's the long-term plan? How is this actually going to really help them?
Instead of reserving land for Caymanians to afford to buy in the future. Well, what's the problem? But you're spending Caymanians' money, the people money on brand new car, Range Rover and Tahoe and everything to go walk you up and down on the road. What's wrong with Anna, man?
Yeah.
What is wrong with Anna? Stop voting in these people that are not doing nothing for the locals for years. It is a cycle that is going on and on and on. I've been seeing it 25 years now. I've been seeing it. It is disgusting. You want to sit inside your grandmother's house, your parents' house, and chat bunch of foolishness just to buy a little vote off of them. Oh, what you need for your house? You need a little furniture. You need washing machine. You want TV for one vote? No, and I need to stop and I put on a foot down and I need to stop.
Yep.
They're not doing nothing for the youth. The youth, them out there crying. They're homeless now. They're up and down. They're begging for help. Then you wonder why they're picking up guns and drugs.
It's unbelievable.
It's disgusting. Election is around the corner, and if they come to your door and they said anything about you want money for this, turn them back. You put your camera on them and turn them back. That's the devil knocking on your door. Don't make the devil knock on your door. They hold them accountable for their foolishness. They've been doing it for years, and once they get in, what happened to the promises that you're supposed to give me? No promise. Why my child on the road homeless? Why am I on the road homeless? I can't get a car. Me as K-man, I can't get a job. I can't get car. I can't approve my child education. What is the matter? What's the problem?
Yep. Philip says, who's going to pay for the utilities and upkeep on these buildings? Is that us too? Of course.
Of course it's us. We gonna pay back for everything. Anything the government touch, they destroy us in the future.
Yeah.
You need to preserve our land, look at our environment. You're wasting it. Your $1 million school for what? For it to rotten down to get your asbestos to, and then you don't maintain it later on.
Well, like we said, this other structure that was built under her leadership, obviously, because she's been in power for 30 years, is being there and not even being utilized. How can we, again, this comes down to the business case, right? Nobody wants to deny Kim Brackers, they're part of us. Nobody wants to deny them the same quality of living. They got all upset this weekend over, oh my God, the jet service mightn't go. They were all up in arms. Oh no, y'all can't send the jets. Even if it's one person on the jet, them Kim Brackers want that jet to land there, regardless of the fiscal sense that it makes every single weekend. And I can understand some of the reasons why, because yes, the smaller prop plane can't handle cargo, certain cargo items and whatever. So, I sympathize with their plight in terms of jet service. But come on now. Tell me and demonstrate to me where you guys need this type of accommodation. You've got a facility there that was built, some kind of purpose-built facility. The Brackers don't know what it was built for. And it has sat there for years, incurring costs, not being properly maintained, any of that. And yet we still paying utility bills and all sorts of other bills on it. For what? How is it actually benefiting the people of Cayman Brac?
No benefit, not beneficial at all.
Thank you, my dear. Ms. Pat says that we must take a position that my vote is not for sale. RMR says our premier is building monuments to her political legacy. The Brac has needs, but it's not rampant construction and mass immigration to destroy cultural norms, etc. Issues are already being seen. Thank you, RMR. The same mistakes that we've made with our little Grand Cayman, we're about to make with the Brac. Philip goes on to say, we call them recycled politicians. We never learn re-electing them over and over again. We can do better. What a mess. Marshall, Damon says facts for that caller. Marshall says they haven't come out and declared on who they are, what they stand for, because they ain't standing anywhere and just going where the wind blows and the money sign is leading. Jordan, good morning to you, sir. Jordan says, morning, Sandra. Do you know any of the supposed members of this new group? Additionally, do you think that they should be going public or when they will be going public? Without a doubt, I would have expected them to come out already. We need time. I understand that some of these people are green. They've never been in the world of politics. They've barely done anything in the community before. So we need to know who you are. We need to hear your intentions more than just a month or two and really put you to the test. Is this a political party? How is this going to work? Right? These are the things that the people have an entitlement, have a right to know if you're putting yourself out for political office. So yes, I've heard of two groups. And then of course, the PPM, they're kind of there hanging on by a thread. So I'm hearing that they're trying to reorganize themselves. Keep in mind that the Premier, Juliana O'Connor Connolly, is a PPM member. So my sources have indicated that her and Moses Kirkernel are planning to work together in the next election to keep their seats. Now, I think this is so interesting. We're going to talk about it some more on Friday, and I'm going to tell y'all why I think that move would be very, very interesting. Stay tuned. Amani says, look at the lifestyle our politicians and their families live. This alone should be a wake-up call for us, all who are struggling out here. They give 2 fucks about us. We can say it now because we're off air. Philip says, so what is the building contractor paying for? Are we providing them with the construction materials too? For $50 million contract, they should be able to provide this themselves. Yeah. I'm telling you, this $50 million school is going to be the biggest regret for Cayman Brac. But again, as the caller just said, someone is trying to build a legacy so they can slap their name on a school and they can say, oh, I've done this. This is what I've done for Cayman Brac. Putting up a building isn't what you need to be doing for Cayman Brac. You need to be creating opportunities, not just for Cayman Brac, but for all Caymanians. When you're premier of the country, your focus just can't be over development in Cayman Brac, Naina. It's called the Cayman Islands, 3 of us. And all 3 of us need opportunities and policies in place that will help. I'm not looking for no hand up from this government. I don't need a hand up from y'all. What I need for you to do is focus on making this country better for all Caymanians. Because when you make it better for all Caymanians, as a Caymanian, I will benefit from that. That's why I don't want your turkeys. I don't want your damn fruit cakes. I don't want any of that shit. Keep it. I just want the opportunity to be able to hustle in my own country without being sidetracked and have all these obstacles in my way. It's as simple as that. I can work. I'm able-bodied. I ain't got no problem. I don't need any of you, praise the Lord. But stop making it so hard for us. Stop putting obstacles in the way. Stop denying our youth educational opportunities. Invest in them. You're taking from special needs children who need it, right? That block, that special unit at CIPA, those kids need the extra attention. Give it to them. Give them the opportunities, because if you don't handle that situation, they become the problems of tomorrow that all of us are going to suffer for. Right? That's where the sacrifices should be made. Inclusion Cayman. You're taking from them in order to build a $50 million Brac school when you can't show us the business case, because you know the business case isn't going to support it. Miss Pat goes back to our point. Data-driven decisions. We've been asking for that over and over and over again. Damien, I hope to have an update that I can provide the people with tomorrow on the CBC officer. I was very, very disheartened to see the mother of the man who's now been charged with his attempted murder posting bullshit on social media, and we're going to talk about that tomorrow as well. All right, tomorrow is Wednesday. Tune in, folks, early. We're going to go through some court cases. I believe Mr. Moxham is up for sentencing again tomorrow. Hopefully he won't find another reason to delay it this time. I can tell you what, the magistrate is not happy with him. Sometimes we are our own worst enemy. And unfortunately for this young man, as I sat in court last week, I could see why he seems to be misguided about the fact that the court not playing with him. He's going to be sentenced in relation to not showing up to court. And he delayed it another week. And the judge was like, the magistrate was like, really? Why are we delaying this? Anyway, we'll update you. Nope, she never released the business case. Doesn't want to do that. All right, tune in tomorrow, folks. Bright and early, 7:25, we get started so we can do the news first with 106. And then we'll jump into our conversations over here on Bobo. Y'all have a fantastic day. Got to get to work, honey child. I got a couple of interviews to do this afternoon. Please be safe, and I'll see you guys in the morning.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth. on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels and visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.